I feel helpless.
Is it even going? We started midstream.
No, just the way it is, dude. Is there any
Yeah.
volume on this thing?
I don't I don't know. I don't hear anything. Do you?
No, it's fine. The intern forgot to hit. We'll have a talk with Alex here as soon as this intro's over. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Alex, bring yourself on the screen, please. We need to have some words.
You gotta
First,
hit
I want
that
to say
audio button.
I want to say welcome to everybody. Sorry for the technical issues. There's a couple things going on. Number one, we're broadcasting live from my parents' basement.
In
Number
Kenosha,
two,
Wisconsin.
it's not Kenosha. I'm 3 hours north of Kenosha.
Kenosha. I thought you were in Oshkosh.
I'm just outside of Oshkosh.
I'm close now. Now I'm getting in the hunt.
We had about 12 inches of snow today.
Mm-hmm.
And the intro scuff, Jack, was Alex did not hit the button.
Well, it's
We'll
all
figure it
part of
out
the
one of
training
these times.
program. We promise to do better in 2021 here at SmallmouthCrush. But there is a major improvement that I want to talk about tonight.
Oh.
I mean, to the channel overall.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right.
And it ain't like a new version of the June bug crankbait. I made it onto the banner, everybody. I've arrived. Check it out, man. How did that happen, Travis?
I know. There it is. Look at that.
Look,
Well,
I got a little spot in the corner. His social media covers my name up, but I'll take what I could get at this point. I'm not going to be greedy. Is it my best picture? No, but who cares? I'm there.
First of all, we need to give a big thanks to one of our viewers. Ray is the one that put that together. He also helps you with your stickers, Eric.
He does. He does. American-made stickers. By the way, the paper comes from America. These are printed in America. I got a new little jumbo pack. Ray Stickle is the man. He just did that unsolicited, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool, Ray. Thank you very much, Ray.
Yes,
Thank
Ray.
you very much.
Thank you. We
Thank
did
you.
it. I see my buddy Lucas just joined the stream. He had some issues. He was trying to sign up for the Patreon, and I just checked. I have about 5 guys. One of them's that New Jersey, Warren County. There was a couple people where your payments got declined, so I'm not sure if you're going to have access to the next live stream unless you figure that out. With Lucas, he just doesn't know how to type, and he put in the wrong expiration date. So something happened. I just want to let you know, if you're having problems, don't call me. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, look. Another thing happened last week.
What the heck?
Travis, like when he falsely announced that I subscribed to Monster Bass a year ago, and I took offense to it. I actually now get a Monster Bass box sent to me so that I can join in the discussion. And Monster Bass hooked me up with some gear, man, and a hoodie.
Dang,
Boy,
dude.
I'm all set up now. Now I can get the Monster Bass box here. I can join in. I can fish some of the baits in the box and really participate. I'm starting to feel like family. And by the way, you got a little gift box coming your way too, man.
Nice, dude. I appreciate that. And by the way, Eric,
From the Bass Lab. Are we kind of like,
you got a gift,
all the love tonight. It's weird, man. Does it feel weird?
Hey, that'll probably change, but I
hope not. You're out of your element. You don't have a bottle of wine tonight, so I got a feeling it's going to be smooth.
Well, before we go there, drink of choice tonight is Green Bay cherry vodka. I was at Festival Foods, dude. It's delicious. I'm probably gonna bring a bunch of these bottles back to Pennsylvania with me.
Man, that's awesome, man. Look at all the people in the house, bro.
I know.
We got Wild Bill Bassman, John Mango, JP Harrell, Brad Palm, Sean Lai, Jeff Gaspel. Man, who else, man? Todd Smith, Terry Carr, Carl Liederman, Fisherman's Hack, Sean Lai, David Brown, Warren County Bass, Lucas McDaniel, Anthony Tillery. I mean, holy moly, man. It's like
crazy. And more will come. Listen, first of all, I want to say we got an awesome show planned tonight. Okay. Tackle HD. Aaron's going to be joining us coming up. And then Frank, oh my God. It's going to, I don't even know, dude. It's going to be one of those shows that it seems like every week it's better than the last. And I think this might be it. A couple things I want to
Juice.
talk about first.
Yeah,
before
what
we
you
get
got?
any further.
Let's do some housekeeping.
Yes, I decided to go live Saturday, pretty much all afternoon, 1 to 5 or 12 to 4 Central.
Look at you making big moves, man.
From the Real Shot.
Dude, I'm applauding you.
If you're local and you want to say hi, Saturday afternoon's the day to do it. Come on down. I should be right up front and center near the tackle displays doing the live show. We're going to have some guests. I'm winging this, guys. I don't have anything planned. I think Eric will pop in. I think Alex, maybe I don't even know if I asked Alex yet, and some buddies of mine might be popping in as well. So it should be
Andrew Strobel's coming in. Andrew Strobel's coming in. M.
Nice.
Jones just joined the Patreon. Bravo, sweet. Man. Look at that, man.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
Speaking of that, guys, the Patreon will be February 18th. If you sign up, it's $10 a month. You get one extra live show a month, and we give out the goods for sure. The last one we did, amazing. I gave up quite a bit.
It was awesome, dude. You really killed it.
The 18th, I promise you. I mean, if someone was to tell me what I'm going to tell you guys and share with you some things, yeah, I'd pay a couple $100 for it. Honestly, I'm just knowing what I know. If I didn't know, does that make sense?
Yeah, and by the way, you're getting really super smart now because you're listening to all these top smallmouth guys, and every time you get off the phone with them, or the podcast, you're just like, you're blown away. It costs you money, and I know, not only you're going to put it on the stream, but you're going to weave it into your game and just become a much, even stronger smallmouth fisher.
Yeah, I'm totally excited. Next week's Smallmouth Crush podcast, Gray Buck, will be on. That'll actually be Sunday night. That video will come up and the podcast platforms, and Gray pretty much gives up how he locates smallmouth in inland lakes. And I could be selfish and withhold that information until after a few of these key tournaments, but I thought, you know what, if he's willing to share this stuff, and I'm willing to share with my competitors and everything else. So
boom.
Cheers to Gray Buck.
Cheers, Gray Buck, a fellow Pennsylvanian for you, buddy. Or
dude, they've
fellow Transylvanian. It rhymes with Pennsylvanian.
All of these past podcasts last week were amazing. JP DeRose.
Oh my God, love that guy.
Yeah, dude. We're trying to. I had Lenny Devos on. He's a local to Lake Ontario. Does really well. Gave up some really good information when it comes to Carolina rigging. David Chong was on. Another really good stick from Canada. Frank Scalish, of course, was on. I shared the video clip with you tonight.
Yeah.
Eric, to give you a little preview, and you wrote back some pretty cool things in the
no
text
doubt,
message.
Man.
You were pretty much excited about that. So I'm excited to have Frank on later as well. But we got to go ahead.
No, heck yeah, let's do it, man. Get to the house biz.
It'll be good. No, I think we're good here.
One more thing for me, real quick. Hey, thanks everybody for the sticker purchases and the shaky jig head worms. Man, I shipped them all out. Some people already got their stuff. And I appreciate everybody sending me pics of where you've been sticking those stickers, man. So that makes my day. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, all right, let's go, Travis.
Yes.
Fire it up.
So last night around 11 o'clock, I was laying in bed, and I was looking at my YouTube channel, and I'm like, where are the comments? Because normally when I put a video up, I get a bunch of comments, and I like to look through them. Well, I forgot to upload my video during the 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. seems to be the best time to get views. And we did a video throwing a new swim bait by Tackle HD. And I thought it was a great video. It blew me away because it was the first day I used that bait out on the water, and I freaking jacked the big smallmouth. But the problem was I got up out of bed, I hit upload, and it went out at 11 o'clock at night. Central
Wait a minute.
time.
Did you say you got out of your bed or your coffin? I thought I heard like coffin. That. Okay.
I'm not Dracula, but listen. So my bed's only 5 feet away. I could get as drunk as I want tonight, and I don't have too far to go. So And so anyways, so obviously when you put a YouTube video up at 11 at night, you don't have as many eyeballs on it. So I would look at it this morning, it was only like 500 views, and I was starting to get really pissed. I know I talked to Eric about it. I'm like, man, I screwed up. It's really important for YouTube algorithms when you put a video out that your fan base, your subscribers are using the internet or on YouTube and stuff like that. So if the video doesn't get traction, it doesn't go over well. So I kind of pumped it here and there. It did catch up a little bit, but it's not where it should be. So if you guys haven't seen that video, you definitely want to circle back, because it was one of the last trips I took this past year. Super cold conditions, and I was fishing that swim bait a little differently than one might expect. And so you definitely want to check that out. But I'm sure Aaron's going to talk all about that in a little bit as well. So that's all I got. I think it's time now. We'll give Alex a second or two to cue it up. But the Real Shot tackle tip of the week. Let's get into it.
So as we went over with our amazing file share system, Travis never sent me the clip for it. So what we're going to do now is talk about the Whopper Plopper. The code in the website link are down, scrolling across the bottom if you guys have any questions about that. So we'll get into that. Guys, learn us about the Whopper Plopper.
Okay, great.
Do it up, man. Man, you just got to jump in with how the Whopper Plopper played a part in your biggest win of your bass fishing career.
Yeah, so here's the
on the Potomac River.
Well, Whopper Ploppers, obviously, a lot of guys have used them. If you haven't used them, I think you're missing the boat. But there's a couple key things with the Whopper Plopper. I like the gigantic size. What is that? The 135?
It's the 130.
Whatever. And I like the 90, and that's what we have here is the 90.
I'm a big fan of the 110.
Okay, great. Well, we got a lot to talk about then. But the 90 for me, especially on tidal water, smaller lakes, places like that, that's where I'm going to throw the 90. Now I'm going to put a split ring on the nose, or you could tie a loop knot, but I would recommend a split ring, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For sure. Oh, Jimmy, I just heard Travis's mom holler down to him, Travis, it's bedtime. So that's funny. That's funny, Jimmy. Listen, so the Whopper Plopper, what can we say about it? There's a couple key things I do differently with mine. I'm going to change out the hooks. I like the Gamakatsu round bend. And then in the front, I like a red round bend hook. For some reason, I just feel like those fish key into that. I actually made a video about Whopper Ploppers and topwater baits and hook color, which I've never uploaded yet. Hopefully, I should get around to it. It's actually a pretty interesting video. But I do like to have a red hook placed in the front. And I actually like to take a little bit of, thanks to Eric, a little fingernail polish and just do a little red in between the hook and where you tie the line to it. Just that fish is looking up at that. I don't know if it matters. What I really think it does is at that last second, that fish keys in on maybe that red and forces it to bite it. And then that outside, the back hook can maybe grab him on his gill plate or hopefully the whole thing. A lot of times, this whole bait's in the fish's mouth. I throw this on a medium heavy, extra fast with 40-pound braid.
There you go.
And the rod's a little bit, because I throw two different scenarios, but when I'm using that scenario, it's because I'm around grass, I'm around vegetation. I want to be able to kind of, if I have to, yank on that fish a little bit harder to get him out of that cover.
Right.
And it's really been a lot of experimenting. You know, Eric, you were with me the day in practice when we got on that Whopper Plopper bite.
Yeah.
And then I believe it was, well, the first day I don't remember, but I was doing well in the tournament on day one. Day two, it had to have been my first or second cast. I spanked like a 4-pounder on it. And then my next cast, I caught another good fish on it. And I was just like, it was crazy. So I've been throwing the Whopper Plopper ever since. I also throw them for largemouth quite a bit. I like that larger 130. Now, the Whopper Plopper retrieve, I like to do I like to do a little pause and pull, but those smallmouth seem to want a steady retrieve. Don't stop it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the same way for largemouth as well. You just have to really play with it. There's a lot of different ways, a lot of twitch it once or twice, pause it, twitch it, pause it, or you can just steady retrieve, maybe kill it halfway.
Steady Eddie is the way to go right out of the gate. And then you can start playing with cadence if you're not getting bit, man. Steady retrieve for that bait and just get that thing smooth turning, and get that nice rhythm going for sure.
Yes.
And you could kind of push that rod, as Travis was saying, and it'll make that tail spin a little bit faster. I do that a lot with a buzz bait. I'll be popping and twitching it, giving a little action throughout the retrieve sometimes, just to mix it up, and let the fish tell you what they want. Cadence, depth, speed, cadence.
Yeah, absolutely. Colors, I do like that bone color, straight black. Straight black is a color I used in that FLW Costa Champion or whatever it was.
Yeah, clear water, you want to go with the Phantom colors, right? Black, you can never go wrong
actually, this color I'm showing you right now, the blue blood color is a really good translucent color. If you have perch, they make a really good perch color. Bluegill patterns work. If you're only going to get two, it would be white and black. Personally, that's what I would recommend.
Well, they make like a French pearl, but do you like the bone better than the French pearl?
I do like bone better. I do like bone better. Now,
their bone's kind of ugly, but it does catch them. But I'd have that repainted personally.
Now they make a fat size, which I'm not. I haven't looked into it. I actually haven't thrown it yet.
It's been out dynamite.
It's been out for a couple of years. What are some of the benefits that you've seen with that profile bait?
Yeah, good question. It pulls really hard. And it is a super loud bait for its size. So it's super compact, but that thing disturbs the water like some of the larger sizes. My favorite size is between the 90 and the 130. It's the 110. Sure. And that color that you have is, my favorite. I mean, I have a Phantom Shad here, which is one of your Phantom colors. Yep. Great for clear water. If you're fishing super clear water, you can't go wrong with that Phantom Shad or any of the other, Phantom kind of ghost colors, if you will. Black, as Travis mentioned, they make a French pearl. They also make a chrome, and I like that chrome color, and I think it's the 65, if I'm correct. But anyway, it is it pulls hard. Again, big disturbance. So when you want that smaller size bait, but disturbing the water, this 90 is very subtle. So I'd probably throw this if there was maybe no wind or a light wind, if you will. But I'd throw that, that shorter, fatter bait. You'll recognize it immediately when you see it on the website. It's short and fat. I'd throw that when there's a little ripper on the water, but when the wind's really starting to chunk and you want a topwater bait and the fish are looking up, that's when you throw the 130.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Boom.
So a couple people are asking as far as sometimes their Whopper Plopper might not run properly. Well, first of all, in real big waves, it's a little difficult. I'm talking like rollers, right? That tail's kicking and then it comes up over the wave and it doesn't.
Yeah. It's like a little motorboat.
Yeah. You just gotta, a lot of times when you store these too, like this back propeller, you got to make adjustments and you just got to work it around the boat until it just is perfect.
Another thing for everybody, don't throw the package away. You can throw the box away, but if you open this up, I'm going to open this up and show everybody a little tackle hack. You'll thank me later. You'll thank me later because you won't have bent freaking tails on your Whopper Ploppers and cry that you ruined whatever the cost of the bait is.
Yeah.
See this little tray that it comes in? You can cut the sides of it off, and now you still have your little tray that you can slide right in between your Plano box, and it will keep that tail intact. You can't stick as many baits in there, but you could probably stick 2 90s on top each other if you're doing a big box. This will fit in that slim box I use. Got to cut the plastic off the bottom of this, but keep the tray, the middle of the tray intact. Tackle hack for you guys right there.
That's a great suggestion there. Good tip. One thing I do want to remember, on day one of that tournament on the Potomac, I was around a lot of vegetation. Don't be afraid to throw this around it. I was casting down little pockets and little lanes that, you had to be real accurate with your cast. And sometimes you couldn't do a full cast. Sometimes it was literally a 15-foot pull, and I had to reel up and make another pitch.
Absolutely.
But the problem I had on day one, and man, I remember like yesterday because it was so frustrating. The gap here between this prop and the actual bait itself would get a bunch of grass and algae in it, dude. Yeah. And what I did on day one was use scissors, but on day two, that night, I went to Walmart and found a little wire brush.
Yeah, good.
And I took that wire brush in there, dude. Yeah. It was literally every 3-4 casts I had to clean that out. But that's obviously when you're fishing around that nasty stuff.
Yeah. So I think this is the Whopper Plopper is the great 1-2 combination. Buzzbait Whopper Plopper, for a moving propeller, buzzbait style, disturbing the surface bait. Yes. Different sounds, different vibrations, and there are days where, the buzzbait will reign supreme, but there are days when they are just gagging this thing. So, and it gets big bites. I fished with Austin from Dream Catchers in the Big Bass tour, not the Big Bass tour, but the Big Bass tour. Yeah. Down on Smith Mountain. First fish of the day was a 5 and change for $300 on the Whopper Plopper 130. And I was sending that thing, like casting it a mile. That 130, you could literally get to the backing on a cast. It's crazy. That thing you can launch it full send, man.
Absolutely.
50-pound braid is what I think you could even use 65-pound braid, man. They don't care.
Especially on those bigger ones. I just, with my rod setup for especially tidal water where I'm throwing it and stuff, that 7'3", medium heavy fast. Yeah. With 40-pound braid, I just feel more comfortable with that. But
backlashes are harder to get out with 40-pound braid.
Yes.
65 is way more forgiving. If you're a co-angler in the back of the boat and you don't want to carry 20 rods or you can't, just throw it on your frog rod and the book is closed. You'll be fine. You will get bites, especially the larger size, 110 to 130.
You can head over to therealshot.com. Use my code SmallmouthCrush15.
Boom.
And they have a bunch of cool colors. I just checked out their inventory. There's a bunch of Whopper Ploppers there. If you guys do purchase from that, you help out the stream, you help out the channel. And we certainly appreciate the business over there at The Real Shot. And while you're there, grab a bunch of other baits if you can.
Heck yeah, man.
Well, I think it's time. We're a little ahead of schedule, which is perfect because we got a lot to go over. Super excited. Tackle HD is going to be joining us. Aaron is in the house. I see him down below. And as soon as Alex wants to bring him on, there he is. Welcome.
Hey, what's up,
man? Nice. Rocking the Tackle HD swag.
I'm actually in my office. I live way out in the middle of nowhere, and I have no service at home. So I am in my office after hours.
How about that? Nice.
Wow. Well, we're glad to have you. I've been using your baits for a number of years now. Actually, probably 2 years ago, Eric and I did a video fishing the Helgramite and had some really good success with that bait. We're actually going to share a clip where we caught some on your Craws here tonight. And then, of course, just back in November, on a very cold winter day in northern Wisconsin, I freaking wrecked them on that on your swim bait, dude. And I was so curious to why. I mean, let's be honest. It's to me, I thought when you sent me these swim baits, okay, it's just another plastic swim bait. I got enough plastic swim baits. I don't need that one. And when I pulled out the package, I was like, whoa, this isn't shaped like a normal swim bait. This has a little different body to it. It has definitely a different action. And I thought, you know what, let's try it. And I was certainly impressed with them. So before we get into those baits, and specifically, Aaron, if you could give us a quick background on Tackle HD and a little bit about yourself, I think the viewers would really appreciate that.
All right, cool. So first off, Epic Eric right there. Bad to the bone. And
thank you, man. Thank
you guys, it's cool being here right now. But anyway, so Tackle HD, believe it or not, the power of the internet, social media, myself and some other guys met each other on a fishing forum, believe it or not. And that sounds weird, but we started blabbing on a fishing forum. Next thing you know, I start fishing with these guys, and one of them had already been deep involved with one of our flagship baits, the high def Craw, and we decided in 2016 to form Tackle HD. And so it's me and 3 other guys, and I had the means, I had a warehouse space, and I'm right on the river here in Missouri where I live, St. Clair, Missouri. So I had extra space, so we set us up a little manufacturing plant, per se. And we started making these baits right here, right on the banks of this Merrimack River. And we were selling them on Facebook and Instagram, and sending people to our website. Everything was rudimentary at that point, and then we started gaining traction, and our baits were obviously for real, and they weren't a joke. They were honestly good baits. They caught fish, and I don't know. I guess we made it to the point where we thought we could go to ICAST 2019. Okay, so ICAST was a big turning point.
Wow.
A big company was paying attention to us, I guess, locally, and so we got bought out by REP Outdoor Group out of I guess you'd say St. Louis, Missouri area. So, which was great because we're not far from there. We're an hour away. So, long story short, they bought us out at ICAST. They made an announcement there. We did. And then they hired me back to be brand manager. And I've been here ever since. And it's just been chaos, pandemonium, and a lot of fun, right?
That's awesome, man. That happened fast. I mean, did you build it? Did you build it to sell it? Was that the vision? Or did it just like as
No,
circumstance would have it?
That was not. You mean world domination was always that was always my plan. World domination.
Yeah.
The biggest tackle company, and my plan was, in my head, I'm like, that's the target. We're gonna be them. But
Sure.
things happen, and people don't realize the amount of time and energy and money it takes to expand a tackle company. And having 2 or 3 baits and some jig heads was one thing, but then when you get into 10, 15, 20 baits, oh my gosh,
I mean, the molds themselves are super expensive, right?
Right.
For an injection machine, it takes time. The prototyping, man, I mean, it's a ton. SKU management,
it takes a team, Eric. I mean, we have meetings. We have a team here at Tackle HD, and we have meetings every day going over. I could show you. I could open the drawer next to me and show you prototypes that would make bounce out of your head. They're so exciting. It's so cool. I'm so excited, but they're not ready. They're not retail ready, and we can't just sell this crap on Facebook and Instagram. It's got to be ready for brick and mortar and retail locations. So so we have a lot of new stuff coming up, but I know you guys want to talk about, first off, I have a bone to pick with Travis, because those swimmers and all the other baits I sent you, and I know I'm the Tackle HD guy, so you probably got tired of my texts, my phone calls, my messages. Dude, you gotta throw these. I know where you're fishing. I'm paying attention. I'm watching where you're at and what you're doing. Like, dude, just put the freaking swimmer on. Just do it.
I did, man. It works.
You finally did. And it
finally did it.
They work great. The swimmer is a great bait. It's durable. We use a good plastic mix where it you catch 25 good big fish. Smallmouth are violent. I catch commonly 25 fish on one of our swimmers.
I do want to say that, Aaron, if you guys watched the video I made using that swim bait, I did not change. I don't think I had to change baits that often. In fact, with some of the other brands out there, a lot of times they're good for 1 or 2 fish. So you make a really good point. Let's start in.
Travis, did you use the screw lock jig head?
No. So I actually used for that video. What I put those on was the Z-Man, the one I used the big TRD with. What's it called?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
What is it called? I'm asking. I can't remember right now. Neither can you.
You don't expect me to answer
Ned
that,
heads,
right?
man. No.
One of those. But So
was
Aaron,
it the pro version?
Yeah.
The new one?
Yes.
CRT Pro Shroom.
Yep.
It's the
So
shroom.
Aaron, what I'd like you to do is let's since we're on the subject of the swim bait, if you could show a couple of those baits, tell us a little bit about it, and then also the hook that you would recommend and how you would rig that up, certain fishing conditions that you've seen that bait excel in. List goes on and on. Let's get into it.
Okay, so obviously, I don't know this.
We're good.
Way
We
this
can see
camera
it.
set up, it's like driving a jet boat. I'm a jet boat guy. It's kind of everything's opposite, you know. Backing up.
We can see it. It's good. It's good.
Can you see that?
Yes.
I call that a hip. This bait has a little bit of hips on it.
Very interesting.
Okay, and that hip is approximately where most people are going to have a hook coming out of this bait. So the most amount of meat that's on this bait is in that hip. And a lot of times, personally, I'm running this bait over my fish. So with that hip profile, it just kind of gives it a little more of a profile from below when they come up on it. You know, otherwise, I'll be honest, what I used to do is hook my other swimmers sideways. I know.
What? That's a Larry. Yeah. That's a in fisherman tip. Flukes
really?
And swimmers. Swear to God, seen it. Flukes and that.
I rig them sideways.
Sideways. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense.
That's the only way I fish. Before we had this bait, I rigged all my swimmers sideways.
Isn't that crazy, Travis?
The hook coming out the side. Because I
wanted
that profile.
Oh, you wanted the fatter. You were doing it for the profile, not for action or any. Okay, I got you.
You know, so anyway, and I'm going to show you, this is just a generic. Actually, I have a buddy in St. Louis who pours these. He's watching this right now. So right now he's probably throwing stuff around the house. And this is just a do-it mold. We are working on our own swim bait mold. It's going to be simple, but very effective. I personally like a hook that is light wire and will bend out with, say, 15-pound test.
Sure, okay.
When I rig up one of these, I want it on all day, okay? And I want to throw it wherever I want to throw it. I want to throw it in wood, rock, or whatever. So that's it. It's done. Simple, easy. That's a 1/4 ounce. That hook's a little heavier than I normally use. I like mine to bend out. I'd rather bend a hook than lose a bait.
Yeah.
Even though I get them for free. So,
sure.
You know, but anyway, that's honestly, guys, if you throw A-rigs, this is the way to roll right here. This bait on an A-rig, and if you have the right jigs, that the hook will bend when you snag them up. You could literally throw a A-rig rigged up with these HD swimmers the whole season, never change your bait.
Yeah.
And you just throw no super glue.
Wow, crazy. Yeah. And you throw naked lead. You don't care about powder coated head. I do that. I tight line swim baits all day long, and they're gamakatsus, and they're just naked lead, and it seems to be fine. Doesn't have to be
604 gamakatsu hook right there.
I love a gami, man. Gamis are badass.
Yeah, gamakatsu 604 is what we use in all our jig heads right now. But yeah, you don't have to get crazy. Just, you know, the swimmer itself actually has so much active, you know, motion to it that you can't really run it with the jig head. You can put it on, you know, fill in the blank, any of them out there until ours come out, and then it'll be only ours. Okay. Right now, just put it on whatever your favorite swim bait jig head is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would say 1/8 ounce, and I usually throw 1/8 ounce in the summer when I'm burning it a little more on surface. But right now, I mean, heck, in here in Missouri, it's probably 36 or 37 degree water and fishing tournament Saturday. I'm going to be throwing this or this in 37 degree water, and I'm going to probably throw it on a 3/8 ounce, you know, lead head like this.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to be dragging this painfully slow.
Sure.
And
sure.
the smallmouth will absolutely wreck it.
And so again, the hips, the wide part is just profile. It is not a design feature that imparts any action. That little wide.
It definitely gives it, Eric. It gives it a body wobble.
A wobble. I was going to say that.
That's really critical.
Yeah.
And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, one of my favorite swim baits of all time was the Skinny Dipper. And the Skinny Dipper would rock, and,
Okay.
you know, and the tail. But this design is very different. And if it gives me a wobble, there's something about a bait that does that, man, that I think just gets more secondary action.
If you actually go to our website, you'll see underwater footage of this thing, and the body wobble on it is phenomenal. If you don't have a body wobble, I think you're failing on a swimmer, okay, on a swim bait. And I actually made the tail to where it wasn't this giant wagging. I wanted one that would swim in 39-degree water or 80-degree water.
Interesting.
And it's a fine line. You get a tail that's too much, and they won't bite it when it's cold. You know what I'm saying? It's too much. This thing, you could slow it down, speed it up. And we have a 3.5, and we have a 4. So the 4, it's a little bigger. It's all it is, and same profile. Dude, this is all I put on my. As soon as I pull one of our buzz baits out of the package, I take the skirt off and I put the swimmer on it.
I love throwing a swimmer on a buzz bait, man.
Yeah, that's you do that a lot.
Well, I go for the Z-Craw, but I've thrown swimmers on them. I just didn't like the bodies of the swimmers because they were too soft. They didn't last long enough for me. One fish and it was done. You know what I mean? So I would love a swimmer, right? You know? Yeah.
These 4-inchers I put them on spinner baits. I put them on my buzz baits, and I will literally. And it just sounds ludicrous, Eric. I will have it on all season.
That's not
all season. The only time I will have problems is if I get around.
You catching any fish on that thing?
What?
Are you catching any fish? You have it on all season? Are you throwing it?
Thousands.
That's nuts. Come on, man. Wow.
You haven't been watching my videos, Eric.
I haven't, man. Well, Travis, he didn't really. I got a bone to pick with Travis. You know, he gets the baits, and I come away with the one that's on my rod.
Well,
text me your address. I'll send them to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, here's what I found. Aaron, you're dead on as far as the action of that bait. That's what blew me away when I put it next to the boat. I knew because of that, the wider hip, right? We'll call it. I mean, there was definitely a ton of action. And I was working it, especially in November. We had really cold water temps. I was working that bait like a Ned rig. I can't believe I just said that. Small drags and pauses.
No shaking, Travis, or no, just dead. Like a drag,
yeah,
pause.
We'll shake here and there. Stop.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I was doing in that video. I wasn't swimming it like a traditional,
right?
Swim bait.
Like every time you moved it a little bit, that tail, even in that cold water, because plastic reacts to that super cold water.
Sure, it does.
Something else I forgot to tell you about this swimmer. There's no salt in it.
Wow, so high float. What? I love a high float bait. Yeah. Hey, real quick, does it hold dye very well and receive dye? People have been asking that on the stream, so I wanted to.
So, and I can't see what people are commenting.
We can. We got you square.
Are they saying bad stuff?
Good stuff, man. They just want to know, does it hold dye right now? Does it hold dye?
You need to set this up where I can see the comments.
You should be able to. If you hit the comments over on your screen, you can do that.
Well, I don't want to mess anything up, dude.
It's there. We'll read to the comments. So we got a lot of good.
I just did. Can it accept dye? That's the first question.
OF. Okay, I'm doing that again. Okay. Yes. So
yes,
it absolutely accepts dye. But I'm gonna tell you my little secret to that dye.
Ooh, let's talk about it.
Okay, so you could go to your random Dollar General or whatever you got, Walmart, and I buy the Sharpies. Okay?
Yeah.
You go buy a 10 or 12 pack of Sharpie. And I usually take the brown, the black, and there's like a yellow, but it turns out just like chartreuse.
Nice.
Because there's sometimes I want to make me a sexy shad out of our LY, and I'll run I'll take that yellow Sharpie, or I'll just paint. And a lot of times on an A-rig, I just want a chartreuse or a yellow tail on my hook bait. The 3 In Missouri, we can only have 3 hooks. So the 3 with the hook, I'll put a yellow, and that marker is instant and it's forever. Once you put it on there, it's done, it's dried, it's over. There's no oils, there's very little scent. Our baits come in a bag too on these swimmers. So you get on the 3.5, you get 10 in a bag. And I had one person complain and say, you know, I had a tail come out, little crinkles. I'm like, how did it look in the water? Well, I haven't tried it yet. I'm like, try it in the water. Because no matter what it looks like out of the bag, when it's the water and hits that neutral buoyancy, which our baits have, it freaking runs. And Travis seen it. He's seen how they look in the water. They run beautiful. You know, they got a combination of body versus your tail, light tail. The faster you go, the faster the tail. It's just like to me, it's like a crankbait. I throw it on a crankbait rod even, you know, it's the same thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah. What do you guys throw a swimmer on? Spinning gear?
So I would throw that, especially those 3.5s. I would throw it on a spinning rod, and that's what I was doing in the video. I do want to ask Aaron. We got a bunch of people asking. They're interested in purchasing this. I'm gonna have Alex put up your website. A lot of times when people come on, they like to offer a little discount code just to help out our viewers and show some appreciation. Do you have a code you could offer them?
Yeah. Let's do Crush 15.
Perfect.
Ooh.
And there it is.
I like it.
How original is that?
I did.
Hey, I like it. 15% off.
So go to tacklehd.com, and if you at checkout, if you enter that Crush 15, it'll give you a 15% discount.
Cool.
Nice.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Everything's in stock until everybody sees this, and who knows, we might sell out with you nut jobs. So
right. Yeah, awesome bait.
The Helgie.
I know you make so many good baits. Let's talk about the Helgramite if we could.
The giant Helgie.
I know you guys love the Helgie, so I'll let you ask any question you want about the Helgie.
Well, I want to know what your number one. You know, a lot of people think Helgramites and small rivers, things like that. We tested on the St. Lawrence River, where I'll be honest, there ain't too many Helgramites hanging out down there, and it works. So walk me through where's the perfect place to throw this Helgramite, and hold a couple up if you can. There you go. Okay,
so the Helgramite is the larvae form of a Dobson fly. And if you right now Google Eastern Dobson fly, you'll see they're pretty much anywhere there's permanent water. Okay. So anywhere there's water, if you fish around like any major reservoir where there's a lot of docks, okay, you'll see these round white blobs on docks, or you'll see them on sycamore trees too, on the bottom side of sycamores, overlooking water sources. So the Dobson fly will actually metamorph out of the water, fly around for a day or two, and then find a mate. And I think they actually call them Ploppers. We're in Pennsylvania where you're at. These Helgramites. Does that sound right to you, Travis?
Yeah.
They call them Ploppers because the males have big old pinchers on them.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never heard of that, but I see where you're coming from for sure.
So the males have the big pinchers, and they use these pinchers to. Is this kid friendly?
Yeah. There might be.
Okay. So the males use these pinchers to hang on to the female while they make friends with them. And then so that's why they call them Ploppers, these big old giant, humongous, oversized like jaws that the males get, and it's just for mating only. But anyway, so anywhere in America where there's water, these Helgramites are effective because there is one shape of this, Helgramite in the water. Anywhere I have been, these things work. Now this, you do know ours is 5-inch. And I remember your video, a year or two ago?
Yeah, we bit it down.
Yeah, you bit it down. So this 5-inch, we had every intention of appealing to the big largemouth guys. But believe it or not, the smallmouth devoured this thing. Well, certain times of year they like something a little longer. You know that.
Yep.
So, but I think you'll both be happy, and the whole entire world will be happy to know that we are like this far away from our 3.5-inch version of this bait right here.
That was the next question people have been asking multiple times on the stream. So
I know,
way to go.
I get tired of even, our dealers. I have dealers tell me, you make that in 3.5-inch and I won't be able to keep them on the shelf. So
wow.
Yeah, our dealers tell us that, and customers, and they all think it's too long. Personally, I'm not a Ned guy.
Well, listen, I'm going to tell you right now that bait. I'm
not
a Ned guy. I'm not. I just can't do it.
You see, a Ned is anything that has the shape and a profile. Cut a Senko in half. If I cut that in half, it's a finesse Ned. It's shape and profile, and that's what you're offering. In that is the shape and the profile. If I cut it in half, it's now a 2.5-inch Helgi. I tried to make it a 3-inch, so your 3.5 is going to be perfect.
In my opinion, when people are throwing a Ned, most of the time the fish that are eating it are imagining they're eating a crawdad without pinchers. Okay?
Yep, that's the #1 bait in the Berkeley tank.
Or a Helgramite.
Yeah, there you go.
They think they're eating a Helgramite or a crawdad without pinchers.
Right.
You don't see a lot of crawdads without pinchers in the wild because they get eat. They're gone. They got ate. They're in the belly somewhere. So
yeah.
That's awesome. That's a good point. I agree. When I was using it on the St. Lawrence River and we were catching fish, I was just envisioning just a really nice plastic that had some good action and looked like something an easy meal for these fish. So that's what I was using that bait for that reason. But when I do go to some smaller creeks, which I have here in Wisconsin and some other places, I envision those fish actually eating Helgramites, and so that's how I target them. But I think that size definitely will catch smallmouth as well without having to downsize. However, I think if you do come out with a smaller version, just gives us another option to try.
Right. I think the 3.5 version is going to really appeal to the creek guys, the Wade guys, and
oh my gosh,
the Ned guys. The Ned guys are always after shorter, smaller, and I personally am going to throw our 3.5 when it gets really tough. Okay. And fish, it seems like when it gets really tough for me, and I'm not a professional, I just love to fish, and I fish every minute I can fish. But it seems to me when it's really nasty tough, can't get bit, they will eat an invertebrate type bait, like a little worm or a little Ned or something that's easy to digest, and they're not in the mood anyway. Might as well make it something simple they can slurp in, right?
I took some buddies fly fishing on one of the rivers up here called the Gunpowder River. I was fly fishing. They were spinning rod fishing at the time. I was catching trout because I was using, little midges and nymphs, right? They were so desperate to get a bite. They dug up Helgramites, fished live bait, by the way. And as soon as they did that, they slayed the trout. They ignored all other offerings, but the Helgramite was the winner. Crazy.
Yeah, it's just too easy for a fish to suck in. Yeah. That is one thing I will say. We do have an actual, we designed a shaky head. We have a 1/4 ounce and a 3/8 shaky head. And I tell people on fishing, because I do guide a little bit and goof around. I take a lot of people fishing, and I tell them, I say, hey, when you're fishing a Helgramite, it's not a violent bite so much like a craw. It seems like when they bite a crawdad type bait, they're trying to break pinchers off and hurt. They're trying to disable it before they turn it around and take it tail first. You know what I'm saying? The Helgramite, you don't feel much. They're just trying to get it in their belly. They recognize it as easy something to get in their belly, and a lot of times you will gut hook your fish with the Helgramite bait if you're not paying attention to your line. Sure.
Besides, obviously a Ned rig is going to work great with that bait. Drop shotting. Any other tricks that guys are using with that, as well as, of course, shaky head in it.
Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of guys drop shot it. There's a lot of Nico guys out there now, okay? They're going crazy with this thing. But I did some with Worldwide James Watson last spawn season down Table Rock Lake, down by his house. We were taking, this isn't the one, but it was Bloodshot. He's all about that color for some reason at that time. They were on their beds. And we were taking a nail weight and sticking it right. Can you see what I'm doing?
Yep.
Yeah, right in the head.
We were taking a nail weight and stabbing it in its face. And then we were wacky, just taking either a wacky hook and sticking it right in the meat of the body. Or we were taking, dang it, I can't remember the hook we were using, but it was a weedless hook nonetheless. So basically, this thing was super slow falling, and we were skipping it under brush on beds that we could visually see. And we just destroyed some giants.
How about
and I
that?
thought he was just total. I'm like, this is horrible. I don't want to do that. This is just painful. Spinning gear, painful. We're goofing around, light. But after I caught a couple over 4 pounds, I was like,
so you had a core, you got a red core bait. It's called blood what?
It's your Bloodshot, watermelon red. Watermelon
Thank you. Okay, got it. Thanks. I thought you had a core shot bait or something.
If anybody's looking on our website right now, they can see that Bloodshot. That's watermelon red. It's
right on.
Okay. Known as watermelon red.
Great color.
In the Helgramite, we stayed with the most natural colors. We got black, which is a pretty common color in a Helgramite, and we got green pumpkin, same.
Hey, real quick, Aaron. Dennis just said discount code is not working right now. I don't know if there's anything you can
tell him that when he goes to checkout, put in Crush 15. See what happens.
Okay. Yep, Dennis, try that. It's Crush 15. It doesn't matter if it's caps or does
it shouldn't matter at all.
Okay.
Shouldn't matter at all. I have a whole team. I got 25 people sitting there ready to answer, but I'm just kidding.
I was like, oh shoot.
How did you train those Helgramites to take those calls in the customer service area? You'll never know.
Hey, listen, I
in here is if you look in the background, you can see my test tank. Literally everything we do, we test in a tank behind me, and I have a bass in there. So
that's crazy.
But
nice.
What's his name? Sorry, Travis. Go ahead.
You go ahead, Eric.
No, I just wanted to know the bass's name. I think everybody wants to.
All right, orders are coming in, so they're saying it worked. Perfect. So far, guys. So if you're making a purchase, hold up because we got a lot of good baits. We're gonna talk about. We got really good one. I'm excited to talk about. But just to recap, that swimmer blew my mind. The Helgramites work great for catching fish, and it's going to give those fish a different look. Guys aren't throwing these, especially, you made a good point. I fish a lot for smallmouth, but for largemouth guys that want to get finessey, that Helgramite is going to be the deal on those highly pressured lakes because people aren't throwing them. They've never seen that. Something different. It's not the same old stick bait or same old, Ned rig, right? Going through the water.
Travis, a lot of people, they're throwing a worm. What do you think a bass thinks a worm is in the water?
Yeah.
You think they actually think they're eating a worm, or do you think they're eating a larvae of something?
I thought that every time I fish, I'm like, why is a fish even thinking about biting this stupid thing? I get it.
There's evolution going on here too, man. I think there's something called like I can't remember the name of it, a chironomopod or something, man. And they're like this, and then when they grow up, I swear to God, and the little bass eat those when they're little fry, and so their brains are like wired to eat things of that shape. Swear, true biology, it's bass biology. I read up before the show, man.
Perfect. All right.
None of my nothing I say could be backed up by scientific anything. Trust me. I'm just telling you what I think.
No, that's fine. Listen, if I can interrupt here real quick, I want to have Alex queue up a quick clip of a video Eric and I did. We didn't publish it because I think we had some audio issues in parts of the video, unfortunately. But I want to share. We want to talk about your craw right now, if we could.
Oh, I thought we were going to watch the Helgramite one. Dang.
No, they already seen that. That's on my YouTube video.
Oh, that's right.
If you guys want, you could. Yeah, let's just watch the show.
Let's watch the show.
You catch a giant here, dude.
Dang, what?
All right,
Look at that.
Here we are
rigging it up. We're rigging up.
Oh, set the freaking hook. Get him.
Whoa, watch it, Travis.
I know. What were you doing?
I don't know, dude. He was going towards the bridge.
I don't think
footage never aired. I've never seen this footage.
No, not yet. Unfortunately, I think Alex forgot to do the sound again, but that's okay. He's shaking his head.
That's the best part.
Can you guys hear it?
I can't hear it.
I can't hear it.
No.
But I can see it. Look at that. Big old piggy.
He's real happy about that craw. That's a good one, dude.
That's a good one, man. Look at that craw. I picked the orange color. I love the brown, like
orange. Brown and orange.
Oh man, that's like
the number one selling color, and I never throw it.
Travis,
never throw it, but it's our number one selling color.
Travis, you were catching up to that fish. He was hauling ass at you, dude.
It's just a little guy.
Yeah,
but anyways,
did you see him hauling ass at you?
Yeah.
Looked like he had some competition up the river.
Yeah, that's all right.
Capers.
We caught him. What
was the water temperature, Travis? Do you remember? 50s? 40s.
High 40s, like 48, 49.
Right.
Those crayfish were just coming out, dude, because you went along the bank and you could see them scooting around.
That was cool.
I can't wait, Aaron, to talk about it. There they are. You got them right there in person, Aaron. If you could just hold those up.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get into it because it's one of the most realistic plastics there is.
Absolutely. So this is a 3D laser scanned crawdad. Okay, so it was 3D laser scanned an actual crawdad and turned into a see, it's like driving a jet boat. You gotta go the opposite direction.
Isn't that true?
And, let me show you my favorite color. Right.
Ooh, is that like a green pumpkin candy?
Yes, absolutely. On our website, we call it HD Magic.
Yeah.
So this one, I tell you what, and somebody was commenting earlier about taking dye. I'll tell you my little secret. In dirty water, I just take my black marker and right about what I'm not exposing on these pictures, I turn it black with a black.
Oh, wow. I like that. You do see the craws have the black tips. Yes, right.
Right. And in really dirty water, like I'm fishing this coming weekend in a tournament, and I'll probably get my butt handed to me, but hey, whatever. They see those, they recognize them pinchers when they're black tipped, man. You see a lot of people, they'll go orange, chartreuse.
Oh, sure. Red. Yeah. I've never done black.
Or I go super dark blue. I never go brighter. The last thing I do is, it seems like I call them peckerheads, the little bluegill or long-eared sunfish. They like to peck at pinchers. So I generally run them off by painting them black or dark blue.
That's so smart because, to me, the Sharpie is in play here because you have that really nice bright blue Sharpie and obviously a black Sharpie, and that's the perfect tool for that.
And it's easy. And, I could say what else I do, but, I'm Tackle HD. I'm just telling you right now, my box is full of Tackle HD stuff and Sharpie markers. It really is.
Right.
I mean, I'm not, even if I lose in a tournament, I lose throwing my stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
When I win throwing my stuff. And I don't fish a lot of tournaments. It's more of a fun and go out and hang out with good guys I'm buddies with. But this craw, I'm telling you right here, this is the bomb. It's real. It's a real bait. You fish it slow. If you ever fish with live crawdads, slower the better. And that's the deal with the high def craw. Slow the heck down. So
there was a legendary bait that you can no longer get that guys pined over, and it was a craw, super realistic, and probably one of the best. That I've ever seen, and that's a reproduction ×2 of that bait. Oh my God, I've had some of the hardest strikes on bed bed fishing with that HD craw last year in Carolina. They absolutely murder it.
Yeah.
I do want to say, I do want to say there's some good, that bait has some real good buoyancy as well. A lot of times if you look at it in a fish tank, yeah, those
pictures come up.
Yep.
Yeah. What's that head? What's that head that you got?
I'm going to show you this. So this is our Stealth HD jig head. This jig head we designed to be married to this bait.
Okay.
You can see it's a finesse type jig head.
Oh, nice.
And it has wire weed guards, and these are probably, I'm believing they're about 100-pound test wire, braided wire. I adjust them for whatever I'm fishing in. When I'm fishing in chunky, bouldery rock, I bring them up like that.
Interesting.
When I'm fishing in wood, I put them close together, more like a brush guard, and I put them close to the hook. And I'll throw that in any crap you can imagine. And as long as you're fishing with good equipment, good rod, you can feel you're getting on a log. I usually don't like to pull it over a log. I'm like, oh, I'm on a log. I'll let it fall back. I'll just let it stay there. Usually the fish are under the logs where I'm at, so I'm going to stay in that log as long as I can. I'll go right back to it. And then when I feel that big thump, like you were saying, how they hit it, they get pissed when they hit a crawdad. It's like they're trying to hurt it. You know?
Yeah, so they don't get bit.
Pinchers knocked off and stuff and they'll hit it. And then they'll spit it out and spin it around, and they'll try to swallow it tail first. How many bass have you caught with pinchers and whiskers sticking out of their throat?
Yeah, a lot.
You made a good point. Bringing that through wood instead of bringing it back over that branch. You're doing what a crayfish would do, and that's scoot back down.
Yeah. Leave it with the fish as long as possible. Like right now, Travis, my water's cold, and granted, I'm going to be throwing this thing where I'm pretty sure there's fish at. You know, they're in winter type holes, you know. But an average cast for me right now might be 6, 7, 8 minutes long. I'm moving this 1 to 2 inches at a time.
Oh, wow. You got to have the patience of Job.
But
that's
you can't even imagine. I mean, right now, if you're not fishing slow, it's winter, you're not going to catch any fish anyway.
Very true. Very true. Is that a football head? Can you show us the head, but the straightforward profile of that? I really like. Oh, okay, so it is a football shape. I love the wire weed guard. I love what you just talked about and how you adjust it. You can't do that with a brush weed guard as much. You know what I mean? And push them together. That's very cool.
That's a Gamakatsu 604 hook, 4-aught. You've got two bait keepers to hold your bait on, or you could slip on a skirt on the skirt collar, and then still put your craw on the bait keeper.
Man, what a great head.
You know, 90% of the time I'm fishing this with a real sparse skirt, like 18 strand, and with our craw on the back of it. That's
very cool. Wow.
Like a smaller skirt.
I like it. It has the collar. That's very cool. It's got the collar to be able to receive skirt.
You got options with it, and it's just a great jig head. Believe it or not, a lot of people will buy our jig heads, and because it's such a bad to the bone freaking
make their own jigs out of it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, they'll go our 3/16 because I didn't show. So that was I'd have to grab here. You know, we have 2 sizes of craws here. So I was showing you the bigger one, the 375, but our little 3-inch here.
Oh my God.
Difference in size. We're going to talk about a Ned guy. This little 3-incher right here. That fits right on the Ned head. That is deadly.
Man, that is nice. And what size is you say you have a 3/16 ounce? For the high def craw? Okay, gotcha.
So I got the smaller jig head for the smaller craw. They're married together. Okay,
yeah.
Get real quick, how to rig one?
Yeah, do it.
Do we have time?
Travis?
We're going.
I think so.
You turned it to. So can you see this? So you stab it right in we'll call it the anal area.
Yeah, yep.
And you will come out. You know, look where I'm coming out, right? There's like a Y bone on the back of these. It's just where their body parts meet.
And the Y bone is connected to the claw bone. That's awesome, man.
So that's how it looks. Now look, boom. adjust the weed guards how you want them. I like them like that.
And a Gamakatsu hook, man. God bless you for
Now,
throwing
on this one,
Gamakatsu on there.
It's a 2-aught gamma, and
That's fine.
now I throw this on spinning gear personally. It's pretty light. It's little. It's an Ed. This is a little bitty bait right here for me.
Wow.
But I would throw this on 8 to 12 pound at the most, but normally I throw it on braid with a little 8-pound leader. And
Nice.
It's neutrally buoyant, so it's got a nice fall rate. This is great fishing from zero. This is my bed machine. I throw this on beds because guess what? They can't take a little 3-inch craw and move it off their bed without getting in their mouth, and you're gonna get them.
Do you ever, when you're bed fishing, you know that fish sometimes will have the claws, and if you can stand it, if you could see it, you could see them just having the front of the bait in their mouth sometimes. And if you just jiggle a little bit instead of setting the hook, they will literally inhale it on the.
Yeah, they'll open and close on it, but at that moment, it's just all coming in. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There's no bass in the whole entire United States or Japan or anywhere they're at that they won't let a crawdad on their bed.
Yeah. It's vicious.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. I've never seen a fish charge a bed bait like I saw.
That got me excited. I got to get some of those smaller ones. I'm going to do some work this spring with that bait. Man, listen, I thought.
Don't forget to use the discount code when you order, Travis.
Yes. Aaron, this is really good information, man. You're just so you know, you're doing all the feedback. I don't know if you see the comments. You're doing an awesome job.
I'm not going to press any more buttons.
No, you're doing an awesome job. People are digging it. I got to ask, I guess we talked a little bit about rod setup and things like that. On the bigger craw, I don't know if I stepped away. I had to get some more ice, but so I missed a little bit. But
ice.
A swinging head,
cherry vodka ice.
Yes, a swinging head would work wonders too, I would think.
Yes. So, yeah, I gotta be careful. I don't want to just start naming and telling everybody, but man, you throw this thing on fill in the blank, random swing head, the craw, the bigger craw, and it really takes the place of like a wigglewort bite, or a rock crawler bite.
Wow.
It really takes the place of that. And when you catch the fish you would normally miss, that swing and miss, you can stop it. And it's not going to float up. It's going to stay right in your face. But a swing, actually, the very first fish I ever caught on our craw was on a swing head, and it was a 5'2" smallmouth, 5 pounds.
Wow.
Very first cast, very first fish.
Yeah. That's nuts.
And it was on a swing head. But
Dang.
I just don't throw it a lot because I fish so slow anyway most of the time that I'm not moving a lot. I'm slow guy. So, hey, do you want to talk about any of the other baits? We got a couple more.
Yeah. Let's do it. Heck yeah.
Do you guys know Worldwide?
I hear a buzz bait.
Well, yeah, we know the bait.
James Watson Worldwide Buzzer right here, guys.
Yeah.
This thing is wicked. So what I have here right now is our gold series, 24 karat gold. I don't know if you could see this, but when we were working with James on this, we wanted to put this little groove in here. So this bait is tuned to run through the head.
I know this setup very well. Yep.
Do you see the groove?
Wow.
I do.
Okay. So it's pre-tuned. The rivets crimped. So this thing is hitting right out of the factory. We have not one, but 2 bait keepers. You want to put a toad on it? Or I usually take skirt off and I put plastic on it personally.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, having those bait keepers right there.
Yeah. What kind of hook?
That's a mustad.
There you go.
Can't beat a mustad, can you?
Well, maybe a Gamakatsu.
Dude, it is so hard to get hooks.
I know. I love a mustad on a buzz bait. I understand, man. Mustad Gamakatsu. I'm not.
Eric, if you had to order stuff, you get to go to the store and just buy stuff that
I can't even imagine what you're going through right now.
It is insane, dude.
Brutal with COVID too, or with the global shutdown on the supply chain. My
And
God.
we try to keep everything in the United States as possible, and
Right.
all this stuff right now, as other Nagamakatsu is made overseas, but all the rest of this is United States,
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, these all this stuff, and we're actually working on Tackle HD has expanded. How much time we got?
You're good, man. We got plenty of time.
Like an hour?
20.
20?
I know.
All right, I got to throw this in here.
What else you got, man? Bring it. What is that?
I didn't say nothing about it earlier, but
no.
So we have a coal scale.
Wow, with the complete nice.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it stores up to 10 fish. It's got 3 buttons.
Makes it easy
to operate.
I like that.
Yeah, the directions on it. So I'm not going to go through it all, but I got video coming out that'll be in the next week or so showing you how to use it.
Good deal.
These are actually available on our website. If anybody wants to buy one, they can, but the ship date's coming probably April-ish.
Okay.
But yeah, these are wicked cool, and the color's cool.
That way you don't sit on it.
Huh?
You don't sit on it. Go ahead, keep going.
I was gonna show you this. I don't know.
What is that? Is that a baton for beating off other boaters getting in on your shit? It's a lure retriever. I don't know.
Okay, that's Eric. What do you guys, Travis?
I think it's a camera stick.
Wrong. It's a freaking badass cool landing net.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. Look at that. Huh?
How about that?
Say what you're really thinking.
Well, let me ask you a question about the green. Does it blend with the water?
No, but if you want to blend with the water, we also have a blue version.
What?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I like the blue. It goes with Travis's boat. That was made for your boat.
That's kind of the point. If you want to match your boat, how about that?
That's cool.
Color matching nets. Crazy.
And then we have this
traditional black.
I'd go with blue. I'd go with blue.
I think the blue's cool.
A lot of fish seem to run for my black one, but just so you guys know, this is the rubber. It won't get your crap all snagged up in it.
Right.
And it's pretty harmless to the fish once it's wet. It ain't old school. But those are available online too. Once again, ship date's probably going to be in April. They could order them. They could pay for them, but we won't be shipping until April-ish.
Cool. What do you got in the bait category, man? You said you maybe had some things coming, or are there other baits that are available in the line that you really like and want to show? We got the swimmer, we got the craw, we got the Helgramite.
I can't open that drawer. That drawer is right here, but I just can't open it.
Hey guys, a couple. So a bunch of orders coming in. Guys are still asking here though. Some people had trouble with the code. Aaron promises if at the end of the checkout you hit Crush 15, it'll work. So
yeah, you got to get to checkout. I see the orders coming in. I got my computer next to me. So
boom.
Anybody who has issue, we'll take care of them.
All right, good.
There you go.
There's not going to be, and we're not going to sell out anytime. Well, honestly, when you guys a year or two ago when you did that Helgramite video, I couldn't believe you sold us out, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That video sold us out, but
right,
me and Travis
we were still in the one-car garage, band.
doing work. Me and Travis
sure.
Work.
We couldn't pour it fast enough, but no, I will tell you. So we're getting into some hard baits. So we're gonna have a square bill. We're gonna have a jerk bait. Working on a deep diver that's really close. Actually, it's done, but you guys gotta realize it takes like a team. It takes an army of people to launch a bait, And not to mention, somebody's got to make sure the crap works. You got to go fish with this stuff. You got to.
Very true.
It could look great, on paper or on a spreadsheet, but what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't catch fish?
Sure.
You know, I mean, I have a lot of cool stuff in the drawer next to me that catches fish, but doesn't necessarily work well on paper. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. Yeah.
So it's very frustrating sometimes being where I'm at. And this is an industry that you would think everybody wants to be Eric and Travis. And a lot of people think, oh, I got the job, the dream job, you know, making
It's not
baits,
easy,
fishing.
man. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy. It's very
No, I
stressful.
mean, what they don't see Travis doing is all the editing behind the scenes and, you know, managing the guide trips and being a dad and, you know, all the other things he does during the day, cleaning. I mean, it's hard. 3X on the vacuum. Do you have an HD vacuum in the works? Because that's
I love vacuuming. Just my garage.
I know.
No, but I think this net could be called the HD sweeper. HD sweep them up.
Travis, you need that blue one, man, for your boat.
Yeah,
dude. That would look fat on the boat.
These things, I don't know if anybody's looking online.
Dude, that is a match. Dude, that's a match for your boat right there.
I know. I see that.
Isn't that freaking pretty?
Yeah.
Gosh. And it's that great rubber stuff that, you know what I mean? You don't get all tangled up on.
Yeah.
Just so you know, this matches my boat perfectly. So
wow, very nice.
You know, it's these baits, you know, everything we do, we try to capitalize on absolute realism and, you know, high def and but in reality, there's only so many people that can copy, you know, these critters that God created, you know, crawdads, minnows, bluegills, blah, blah, blah. So you just kind of, it's tough. It's tough to come up with new stuff that hasn't already been done. And that's kind of, in my opinion, the fun part of it. Is just really.
People are asking, is the net on the website? I missed that.
The net is on the website. They can order them. They won't ship until April-ish.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah. I checked the nets on the website before we turned and went live.
Perfect.
What's everybody saying, Travis?
They're just, they're loving it. They're definitely super excited about the baits, as are we. Aaron, how long can this code go for? You got a few days. If people are watching this tomorrow, they didn't catch the live.
Let's do 7 days. Is that cool with you guys?
Perfect, man. That's awesome.
Perfect. That's generous. That's awesome.
We'll share it around on our website and try to push some people to you guys' YouTube. We have a YouTube as well.
Yeah.
And I know you guys, the YouTube thing alone, I'm sure is a full-time job for you guys. No doubt about it.
Right.
But yeah, we'll do 7 days on the code if that's cool with you guys.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Love it.
Any good questions you want to ask? I'm sitting here.
Yeah. All right, go, Travis, go.
Go ahead, Eric.
No, go. You go. You went first.
No, I just want to do a quick recap. I think your baits are amazing. I think if people are interested in showing those fish something different, something extremely realistic with the craw, a different swim bait that other anglers are not throwing, you have the best deal going on right now with those three baits that you talked about. I'm really interested in your buzz bait. I like the fact you can take that skirt out, put a swim bait on. That's what you use a lot. Man, yeah, I'm ready to get out there and start fishing. You know what I mean? This was some good stuff.
Let's go back to the buzz bait real quick. I think I missed a couple of key points because I was sidetracked. This buzzer, you could actually tune this up so easy and get it. Don't let it hit the head and make all the banging loud. You just want it to squeak and gurgle.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very easy to. I go one way on each side, and then now it's going to just bang right off the head.
Yeah.
So it's an easy tune on this bait. And once again, I guess we might fail in the area where we make our baits where they last too long. But gosh dang, dude, I'm telling you, probably last summer, I bet you I caught over 50 good-sized smallmouth on one of these buzzers. And I just kept kept throwing it. And I'm like, man, I got to see how far this sucker will go, you know. And finally, I lost it. So very durable. Got a good strong wire on it. We got a lot of good colors. I don't know if you guys, what's the big color there for you guys in the summer?
So, you know, on the buzzbait, I keep it simple. I like white, black, straight black, obviously. I do like a little old school, and this is one of Eric's tips, the old school black and yellow skirt, not chartreuse, but like a yellow, flat yellow. I don't know how you describe it. Yellow.
Dude, it's just like bumblebee yellow, man. It's yellow. It's like as yellow as it gets, man. Oh, that's an old school trick. Yep.
Well, we got these skirts. I will tell you, our skirt collar on our buzzers is pretty violent. I mean, your skirt's going to be on there for the life of that buzzer unless you cut it off with barrel wire cutters. That's just
how about that? That's great.
Tough. We got really nice skirts on them. We used the highest price skirts we could get because if people want one on there, they want it on there. But
sure,
I cut them off.
I mean, you know, when you cut it off and you put a swim bait on or what I put on, I mean, it really buzz baits tumble and twirl because of the skirt. So you're really eliminating that tumbling, and especially if you're really moving fast, covering water, you can pinpoint your cast. You're not getting that thing helicoptering. You can just put the bait where you need it. So
right, no, ours doesn't helicopter, which is great.
That's compact buzz bait. Yeah.
That
no
sucks
doubt.
When you go to cast and it just stalls out mid.
No, you put your swim bait on there, that thing will cast like a bullet.
Yeah, it freaking it's a rocket, and it goes right where you're aiming every time.
That's what I'm saying. Absolutely, yeah.
You know, there was one other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, and this is just my own dumb stuff I do. I do a lot of dumb stuff with baits, but and I didn't bring the hook, but something I found. Do you guys fish around a lot of docks, or anybody who does?
Of course.
I have tried something new. I was fishing with the guy bed fishing for smallies this past year, and he just goofed around and he nose hooked our swimmer, and he was just skips a mile on spinning gear. So he was skipping it under stuff and getting it to beds we couldn't reach, and it was just like throwing a sluggo. But when you move it, unlike a sluggo, you get that tail. And then I just started buzzing it on the surface like a buzz bait with that nose hooked. And I took it on to several lakes, Lake of the Ozarks. I was able to throw it under multiple dock cables and then back to places nobody's ever thrown. And that that swimmer would have it'd leave a bubble trail behind it as I was burning it back. And I absolutely found a whole new bite that I think nobody's ever seen before.
So let me ask you a question. What size of the swimmer were you throwing when you were doing that?
4-inch.
Thank you.
Always using the 4-inch when I was using it for a topwater buzz bait type thing.
Yeah.
And you know, people use the toad.
Sure.
Buzz toad type of bait.
Sure.
This sucker is an awesome topwater. Just buzz it.
And honestly, I mean, I think because of the broader part of the hips, you know, it would lend itself because you've got some more weight in the back. And, you know, like with a weighted buzz toad hook, I mean, you've got that weight. Some of them are made with the keel weight, if you will. But that would help that keel and really create that disturbance on the water. Nice.
I'm telling you, it blew me away the amount of fish. And a lot of times I was videoing, you know, for our YouTube channel. Which, by the way, shout out for our YouTube channel. Go check it out. I was like, I don't even know how to sell people this whole concept of running this weightless swimmer on the surface on spinning gear. And then I started doing it on baitcaster too, but you could throw this thing under crap you wouldn't throw anything else because
you can't.
It would skip 20 yards.
Yeah, you can't skip a buzz bait 20 yards under a dock.
No.
Hey, people are asking about your jet boat. They want to know. I've seen that like 4 times. What's your jet?
I got a River Pro jet boat.
Okay.
It's the baddest ass jet boat ever made in the whole entire world. Period.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't have a way to really like have a pop-up right now. Or if you go to our YouTube video, I have actually, I had James Watson and Casey Scanlon. You guys, you know them.
Sure.
So I had them out. I don't know. It's been about a month ago, and for whatever reason, I think I got a little agitated. James, maybe he's being a little bit of a smart aleck, and I might have given him a little bit of a scary ride. But you can see the video that my boat running, no water. It's awesome boat.
Right.
If you clowns ever come through Missouri, do not stop without getting a ride in the boat and go smallmouth fishing.
All right. What?
As long as you take it easy, man. You're scaring me. If Watson got nervous. We're in. All right, listen, Aaron, I seriously, again, I appreciate you coming on. Really good stuff. Amazing baits. We use them. We recommend them. We've caught fish on them. You've seen it. Although our intern Alex messed up on the sound. He we'll figure what are we gonna do with him, Eric? I mean, this is ridiculous.
I know.
The intro, the video, I don't know, but we'll figure that part out. But listen, guys, not SmallmouthCrush, just Crush 15% off, TackleHD.com. You got to get them swim baits, pick up some Helgramites, and definitely get those Craws because they're one of the most realistic baits out there on the market today.
Oh, great tip, man. Aaron, you killed it, man. Great job.
You did.
Man.
I know you couldn't see the comments, although you could have if you tried, but maybe next time.
I'm afraid to touch buttons.
Well, it's
right.
Say, what an honor. This is like a dream come true. Coming from a one-car garage operation a mere 3 years ago to be on Smallmouth Crush, which you guys have been watching. You guys. It's freaking big deal, and you guys are awesome, and I appreciate it. Hopefully, with all of our new baits, literally, we have so many new baits coming out in the next 2 or 3 months. We could do another show and just do nothing but new baits. That's
baits. Nice. Stoked to try them, man. I hope we're on the prototype list. Just don't send them all to Travis, because
dude, text me. I only have Travis's phone number. I text and call him, so you need to hook up with me. And
can I get you through the website?
Just everything comes through me, and then I'll determine where I want to distribute those baits. That's fine.
Oh, I don't think so. It's
hey.
You can't control it. You can't control it.
We didn't argue all night, Eric. Don't start now.
No,
I'll shut this stream down right now. You know me.
Push the button, dude. I'll jump right off that screen with you, bro. I got nothing to lose. Aaron, I'll be in touch. I'll get through to you on your Instagram or your website. I got you.
Perfect. Hey guys, really appreciate it. Thanks for the job for Tackle HD. You guys have supported us and been, really nice to us since day one. I appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Good job, man. Great job tonight.
Thank you, guys.
You got it. Tight lines.
Good stuff, man. Got me excited. I want to go grab some of those more baits. You know what I mean? I got a bunch still, but
since you got them all,
I'll share some with you, dude. Stop.
You keep saying that. You just keep promises. But I do got a box coming my way, you said, so I'm stoked.
I know. Listen, and Alex, I know you're there. Let's bring Alex in real quick. Well, I'll wait. He looks like he's in a compromised position right now. There you are.
We're all good.
All right. I'm just giving you crap for screwing up earlier. It's fine. What happened?
So the first time I forgot it. I'll admit that. The second time I hit it. Don't know what happened. So we'll figure it out. It was the first time. I'm sure we'll have
listen, I'm glad you're here to help with the show, because obviously down here in the parents' basement, the internet's not working out so hot for me. So we're thankful for that. At this point in the show, we were supposed to run a commercial. I know you guys are all pissed off now because you're not going to get the commercial, but you're still going to listen to me talk about it because, everyone gave me crap for looking like Dracula. I was real white. The light was in my face for the last commercial. So I redid it, and now I can't even share it because it won't upload. Maybe if we had 3 hours, I could upload it.
But, I didn't see the comments. People were saying you look like Dracula tonight.
Yeah. No. In my last commercial video, talking about the one-on-one.
Oh, because you are. You can't hide it.
I don't like. Rarely do I sleep. But listen, so the one-on-ones, you guys know all about that. I really want to focus on the Patreon. You guys know if you sign up, it's $10 a month. February 18th is going to be our next show. It's going to be good. You don't want to miss it. I don't make false promises and say stupid shit like that. February 18th, you're going to want to be signed up on the Patreon. You can find that information on my YouTube channels in the description below to log on. It's real simple. There. How was that? That wasn't too bad.
That was pretty good, Jen. I mean, one thing I was thinking about too was on your last Patreon show, you talked about that technique that Aaron was talking about, just dragging that swim bait real slow across the bottom, almost fishing it like a Ned rig. I was kind of surprised you gave that up, but just, I mean, for people that haven't signed up, that's kind of an idea of what Travis did. You know, in the last one, he had a bunch of Ned rig baits lined up. He gave him a little tank test. He talked about how he fished it, where he fished it, why he fished it. And you can just, I mean, just ask the people that were in there. They said they got their money's worth and more. So really, cool. I mean, it's not too much to fork up, and I think you'll get a lot more out of it than you'll be. You kind of think you're going to get out of it. So I mean, we always have a good time too. And this next one coming up, Travis, correct me if I'm wrong, is we're going to go over that special bait that you've been talking about, and you really
secret bait.
It took some convincing to get Travis to talk about this.
Yes. I have a video that we're going to show how I actually caught back in November, a 28-pound bag of smallmouth win. I threw pretty much everything at those fish leading up to putting this bait and this technique in the water. Yeah, dude, normal shit that you would catch them.
Yeah.
It didn't happen until the magic moment, and it was pretty cool deal. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. Remember, Saturday, I'm going to be going live at the Real Shot Tackle Store from 1 to 5 Eastern. So a 4-hour live stream, at least till they kick us out and turn the lights off at the store. We're going to be talking about baits, talking about anything. I'm going to have some guests. I don't have a schedule, so reach out to anyone that's been on the show before, wants to come on. You guys can pop on, and we're just going to hang out, talk fishing. You can come down to the store and hang out with me as well. Maybe we'll get some of the listeners and viewers on the live show as well. So I think that'd be pretty cool.
That's going to be cool, man. There's no question about it. The pop-in meet and greet. That is awesome. But can you explain something to me? I just have to cover this with you.
Okay.
This picture of you got some crazy eyeballs in that, man. Can you guys see his crazy eyes? What were you thinking when you picked that photo? Your eyes are crazy. You got the crazy eyes again.
Well, I just put the phone up to take a selfie. I'm not trying to figure out if my eyes look right or not. Okay.
You're looking a little crazy.
Okay. I've been accused of using filters and teeth whitening apps and all that crap. No, I just use hydrogen peroxide and baking soda. Okay. Every other day. And I got beautiful eyes. What can I say? Listen, guys, I don't know if you've ever heard what? I don't know, dude.
All right. I know as much as everyone that's still watching wants to hear about Travis's teeth watching routine. We got the man, the myth, the legend. Frank Scalish is in the queue. I think he's going to be a little more interesting in this. So
hold on before you wait, Alex,
you got to get some more vodka. This is horrible timing.
No, I got to just explain something why I'm excited for Frank coming on tonight, because I just did a podcast with him, which will be up Valentine's Day. And I was blown away, dude. And I've done a bunch of these. This dude is crazy legit. And I'm super excited. Bring him on. Let's go.
Let's go. Right into the Scalish, man. Oh,
there he is.
Oh, my gosh. I'm startled to be on, even though it says right here, you may be brought in at any moment. I should have read the fine print first.
I've been waiting for this one, man. The Padrino, man. I love it.
Frank, welcome to the live stream where anything goes. People are really excited to have you on tonight. I was excited. I actually gave a sneak peek of our interview to Eric earlier today, and he texted me back, and he doesn't really compliment me too much, but it was all good stuff. Coming
really
back.
Tremendous,
so
tremendous. I watched you on BTL this morning. I watched you again this afternoon, and now I'm going to get you live today. It's a triple header of Frank Scalish for my best friend. It's about
that's a frightening thought, dude.
Exactly.
That's very scary that I got to be in your head at 9:30 at night.
Three times. Now it's live. What's going to happen?
I don't know.
Man.
I'm nervous.
Me too. No, it's good stuff. Your techniques, just the stories, the story today with Travis, which was blew my mind. It's
probably just one of many.
It's one of many. But that was pretty incredible.
Oh, you're talking.
No spoiler alert. Oh, the 8-footer.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Frank, by the way, Frank, can you see the comments? Because that's part of the fun of this show. Is there's a button over there somewhere, and you should be able to see the comments coming in live as well.
Okay, so you're asking me technology. I can talk about fishing, but I can't use my computer.
You got to see the comments, man. The comments are the best
I have
part.
comments on.
Okay.
All right, I got.
Are they
something.
scrolling? There you go.
Yeah, they're doing stuff. I don't know what they're doing, but oh yeah, they're going. If you think I can pay attention to that screen and talk to you, you're way overestimating me, like by a lot.
You're just here to talk fishing. We'll keep you engaged on the comments, man.
Well, Frank, I, for some of the viewers that may not know you or know of you, I'd love to just quick background and then we'll get into fishing talk if you don't mind.
Right on.
All right, you do the background.
Oh shoot!
Well, I could do it. I studied.
No, all right, you could do the background. I could do it.
I want to hear you do it.
Well, I know he's fished the Elite Series in the past. He's fished a lot of tournaments. He's definitely one of the. We settled it on my podcast. Top 5 smallmouth bass anglers in the country. He's fished for smallmouth all over the place. He's a largemouth fisherman too. Table Rock Lake, Champlain. He loves Champlain. But this dude knows how to catch him on Erie as well.
Yep.
Everywhere on Erie. Have you ever been to like Lake Michigan, Sturgeon Bay, any of that stuff?
No, I haven't. Can you believe that?
Dude.
It's not entirely too far for me, but I've never gone up there. I mean, you know what's crazy? It's like, why? I mean, I literally live 8 minutes from Lake Erie. It's like, you know, what? Where are you gonna go? You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's why. I mean, you know, growing up on Lake Erie was a blast. You know, before I actually became a boat handler, is what I call it now. I used to just run one. And you know, growing up on the lake, my first bass boat was a 15.5-foot Champion. And that's what I used to run on Lake Erie. And wow. You learn how to drive really quick. You know, after you're done being a human jerkbait for 3 months, you kind of figure out where to keep the nose of that boat, you know, and then as you graduate into bigger bass boats and more high performance, then everything starts to get really good, you know, and by then you're seasoned. You know what to expect, you know. It's no joke though. The big lakes are no joke. I mean, they can get nasty. So
they're not meant for bass boats, that's for sure. Bass boats aren't meant for the Great Lake, no doubt.
Frank, they're not. Yeah, Eric's a little nervous when he goes out with me. You're just not used to big water, Eric, and that comes with experience. There's nothing to be afraid of. Once you get out there, dude, it's like second nature. It is.
Oh, I stood right in the well, man. I stood right in the well.
Yeah, he didn't want to get up on the deck that day.
I did get up on the deck in the Blackwater River, man. We found them joints. And my first Ontario experience, I caught one over 7.
Oh, nice, dude. That's a big smallmouth.
It's a giant.
That's a giant. They don't even look real.
He had the rhinoceros head. And
dude, right.
Fins looked like he was waving at me, Travis. And I think the scale was wrong. I feel like it was an 8. It was stupid.
Well, you know
I don't know, Travis.
You know the fastest a bass grows is from the time you catch it till the time you tell somebody about it. So.
And it's continuing to grow with every subsequent story. Frank, you are spot on with that one, man.
Yeah, that's the beauty.
Thank God we got it on video.
That's right.
So one of the reasons I was excited to have Frank on as well, and I knew that Eric and Frank, because you guys, Eric's a lure, like he's got every bait ever made. You know,
I see him back there in the background. You're kind of freaking me out a little.
That's nothing.
I've been collecting since the 70s, man.
Oh,
outstanding. I've been a bass head since I've been a kid. Lifetime subscriber to Bassmaster magazine, starting when I was a paper boy, $150, and I still am working on that lifetime subscription. You know,
that's outstanding.
Yeah, 40 plus years later. So yeah.
Getting your money's worth out of that one.
Ate up with it. Still as much today as I was then, man. Just wish I had more time to fish on the water. So I'm really blessed to be able to connect with Travis and go to some waters that I would never see without knowing him, and make some great film and have a great live show like this. It's awesome.
Yeah. You know, I mean, the coolest part of fishing sometimes is actually going to a new body of water.
No question.
I mean, that's the funnest thing because you have high expectations. It's a bigger challenge. You got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot of fun for me, is finding brand new water to fish.
No, absolutely, man. You know, like the experience going to Ontario with Travis. I mean, I was excited, nervous, didn't know what to expect. I mean, we're out on the big lake. You can't see the shore. We're by these giant freaking marker buoys, you know. I'm throwing, what the fuck? If he falls in, we're effed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, forget it. But I mean, you know, it's second nature to him. He's seen it a million times. And then to just go to the mouth of the Blackwater River and see those, you know, cliff-like thing, it was extraordinary. And then the St. Lawrence, I'd never been there either. So two legendary bodies of water with Travis, and what an extraordinary you know, thing it was. We fished together on the Upper Bay in Potomac. Potomac's my home river. I'm a Maryland guy, grew up here, and you know, so I consider the Potomac my home body. But we've spent a lot of time some derbies together, just great experiences. And
that's excellent.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the Potomac, man. It's all about the tide over there.
Brother, you tide and time, you got it.
Are you a fan of tidal water?
Yeah, I wasn't at first, but once I started to understand the tide and how to run it, yeah, absolutely. Because you put yourself on active fish the whole day. Now, if you're like me at the James River one time, I screwed the tide up, and I put myself at the worst possible fishing times. Everywhere I shut the boat down, I just wanted
to. It can be brutal. That fishery, James and Chickahominy, you can literally get healthy in 30 minutes if you have practiced and found fish and you time it right. It's ridiculous. I'm not saying you're going to come in with 17 pounds. I'm saying you're going to get healthy enough to be in contention if you get a big bite. But you being a current guy, you must love the aspect of current for tidal.
Oh yeah,
it really positions the fish. And
absolutely.
I know you know how to read the water when it comes to that. So it must be second nature. Didn't you have a really high finish on the Upper Bay?
Yeah, I did actually. I finished second.
Second, right?
Yeah. I knocked my lure down. I knocked my lure off the boat. I mean, my lower unit off the boat at, I think, 8:30 in the morning.
Oh, no.
On the third day.
Run it up the Susky?
Yeah, I went to make a move, dude. And you know how stupid. I went to make a move.
Yeah.
When I got there, the wind was blowing out with the tide, and so the tide went out super fast.
Yeah.
So I said, man, I missed the main deal, so I'm gonna have to turn around and get out and catch up to the tide. And when I put the boat up on plane, I was in about a 10-foot gully. Okay.
Yeah, like a ditch, sure.
Right. So I spun the boat around to get up on plane. I shot up on plane and I took off where I thought I was going.
Yeah.
And then my GPS made the correction and my track line, I'm running this way and my track line's going that way. And I went, oh no. So I, flagged all the people that were following me to stop. I told the camera boat stop, and I just trimmed it up and hammered down because I had no choice.
Dude.
If I shut down, I would smash the bottom of my hull. So I wanted to try to get up on top.
What?
Yeah, it was a mess, dude. Not only did I wreck, dude, I took out about 7 spectators and a camera boat.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Travis,
they were
in our backyard, Travis.
They were so pissed off, man. I'm like, dude, the first time I've been here, you're following me. I mean, who would do that?
Right.
It's like you're following a blind man down a mogul course. I mean, come
Holy
on.
Crap. Now, were smallmouth in play for your bags, or was it? Yeah, Travis.
Yeah, I had a mixed bag. I had largies and smallmouth, and
sure.
It went the way it went. I could complain about it, but it was my fault.
So what did you do to salvage the day to still come in second?
I caught one 5.5 pounder.
That's unbelievable. Yeah. With no lower unit.
No, I caught him on my second cast.
What?
Yeah, before my lower unit disappeared.
Oh,
so basically I had my lower unit attached. I had the prop attached, but there was a hole about the size of a pack of cigarettes on the side of my cone on the lower unit. Wow. So I started the boat up, and after I hit it, stalled, I started the boat up, it turned on, I put it in gear, it idled. So I idled across the river into a marina.
Yeah.
Talked to the camera guy because he got into the marina. Told him if it idles, I'm out of here. And so it idled, and I said, see ya. If I don't make it back to the weigh-in, you know where I am. Come and get me. And
wow.
So I had to idle everywhere, but I had blown the tide so bad that I needed to go to my deep fish way at the mouth. And it took a long time to get there. Long and short of it is I panicked a little bit, and I headed on into the, headed back into the weigh-in because I didn't know how long it was going to take me. I was idling.
Sure. That's a crazy story, man.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. I think it's fascinating that you come from smallmouth waters. You're familiar with smallmouth. You gravitate towards smallmouth on the Chesapeake. I mean, did you mess with the flats and the grass?
Oh yeah, dude. I practiced out there.
Yeah.
I practiced out there till I was blue in the face, and I said, I don't get it, man.
What time of year was it, if you don't mind me asking? Take me through that.
It was early.
Like June-ish?
No, dude, it was freezing, like 30 degrees, 34 degrees.
You're talking. So the flats were not in play, Travis. I mean,
no, they
on the flats in March.
No, they weren't in play, but I didn't know at the time, and there was still grass on them, so I had to check it.
Of course.
I had made a run in practice. You got to understand, guys, I don't know anything about this place. So in practice, the first day of practice, I spent a lot of time on the flats, and I was very irritated. So I said, you know what? Look at the map. I go, man, there's this great backwater area over there. Let me go run in there. So I go taking off down the bay. I run down the bay, go around this big giant point of whatever it is. It's nothing but bulrushes as far as you could see. And I see an opening, and I go, holy shit, there's an opening. Whoa, I spin the boat around. I go flying in there. I shut the boat down. There's nobody in sight. And I'm like, this is like being in the Everglades, and I go back in there and I'm putting around, looking around going, oh my gosh. And it's good deep water. I'm psyched. All of a sudden I hear, you are not allowed in here. You know what I mean? I'm like, what are you where's this
down to the proving grounds, dude?
Yeah, I'm like, Aberdeen proving grounds.
Swear to God, dude. I'm like looking around. I hear this big voice. I'm looking around. Then there's this little flat like bank that comes out in a little opening in the bulrushes, and there's 3 dudes with guns standing there. Army. I went in the base. I didn't know I was in the base. So they flag me. I go over there and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't know. He goes, you're not allowed to be anywhere around here. You better pay attention to what's going on.
Wow.
Yada, yada, yada. So they let me go, and I leave, and I make this long whaling ass run. I don't even know where I was going, but I saw other stuff on the map like I'm going to Boston. You know what I'm saying? So
Baltimore.
Or Baltimore, yeah, whatever. I'm bad at geography too, if you haven't figured it out. So I'm cruising, man, and there's this backwater there. I go whipping in there, and I start fishing around, and I wind up catching 3 back there, 3 nice ones actually, but it took me like half a day to catch them, and I couldn't establish a pattern. So I'm freaking out because I'm running out of practice time, and of course, when I left the place, 2 things. I wasn't sure how long of a run I made because of my little foray with the federales, and so I wasn't paying attention to the time frame. It was getting late, and I had to run back. Well, the wind had picked up like something like mad, and so I'm running back, and it's getting dark, and I got to press, and now I'm getting into like waves that I'm like, well, okay, I don't want to go through this, but I guess I own it. So I finally get back. So the next day I went back to my room, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, I'm an idiot because I got to go to the current. I got to fish the current. So I said the next day I'm doing nothing but going upstream. So I went up there and figured it out, and I figured it out so fast I was actually kind of mad at myself. So what I wound up doing was I wound up catching fish in a few places, and then the rest of the day all I did was idle around and put stuff in my GPS. I didn't even fish the rest of the day. And then I spent the whole tournament up there, and it was a pretty good whack fest until the third day. You know, it was pretty good. So
wow, great story, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
We have a lot of Chesapeake Bay tidal water viewers, watchers here on the show tonight, I'm sure. So they love anytime we talk about the Chesapeake, they get fired up. But
especially when the idiot's running on it.
There's a couple places on the Potomac like that. Fox Ferry's one of them, man. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Travis's buddy lost his lower unit on Fox Ferry.
Oh yeah. It happens out there. I mean, it happens everywhere, but more so it seems in those sketchy areas. I mean, the flats are no joke even running across that at times.
Well, you know, the crazy thing is you have to keep into account wind direction, because if the wind's blowing against the tide, it stalls it and you don't lose as much water. If the wind's blowing with the tide, even more water goes out. So what you could run across maybe normal low tide, you couldn't run across if the wind's blowing the same direction.
Right on.
So, man, you know, you learn these things over the course of time. Sometimes it costs you a lower unit. Sometimes it doesn't.
Well, I've lost the lower unit on the river, man, for sure.
You know, it's one of them coin tosses. Today. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
Why even put them on?
Right. They're just coming out. Exactly.
But yeah,
man, that's good stuff, man. So,
you know, Frank, one of the discussions we had on our recent interview, you talk a lot about baits and working with bait companies and a lot of bait hacks and modifications. And I know there's so much that goes into it, but I want to kind of change the topic a little bit more towards that aspect of things, because I know Eric loves messing with baits and customizing things. I know your background, you know, you mess around with trout and salmon or steelhead a lot, so you do flies and baits like that. But you know, as far as some of the bait companies that you work with, can you share some information on that? I know LureNet. Sure, definitely.
Yeah, I designed a new lure for Norman Lures called a Speed N. It's a very tight wobbling bait, really good in cold water. We got the prototypes out literally just days before the Classic last year. Gave it to some of the guys to fish, and it took a third, a fifth, and a 14th, if I'm not mistaken. So it got Classic proven right out of the rip. I had been fishing my prototypes probably for about 10 months prior to that, and was really pleased with the performance of it. You know, it's an outstanding, you know, when the bass get on the bank and everybody starts throwing the red crankbaits on them, this bait is just twisted good. It just has the right exact action. And the nice thing about it is it's a gel coat dipped bait, so it's heavy. So if the wind's blowing like a hurricane, you can toss it, no big deal. You know, it's not a bait you're going to struggle with.
Yeah,
you're not going to struggle with it. And if you're
like
doing
Norman, it's like that Norman Sunshine gel coat, the old gel coat, right? Automotive dip kind of thing.
Yeah, it's actually bass boat gel coat. Clear.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so then I designed a bunch of colors for them. You know, Normans, I've been fishing with Normans since birth. Back in the old days, you can buy them in a gas station. They were so prevalent. And then over time, dude, money.
That seems to work. You like that? That baby is chewed up. I retire them when they're that good.
See,
now on the wall of fame.
So now you're scaring me. So everything that comes out of my mouth, you're gonna pull one out that's like antique worthy.
I'm gonna. No, still got my Gamakatsus on there, man.
All right, okay.
No question. Can I go back to the Speed End real quick? I want to make one point, and I got to ask you this question.
Yeah.
Being the lure designer, color selection, this is really important to me. I just want to know butyrate. Deeper. Why did you pick butyrate over the cheaper plastics? Talk about that. I talk a lot about it. Some people call bullshit on it. This is a real deal guy. Right. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not.
Give me your perspective.
Okay, here's the truth behind it. Okay, it's a softer plastic.
This is butyrate, by the way. It's a bone colored plastic, correct?
Right. So when you talk about a soft plastic, okay, it's not soft like you can touch it and squish it.
Right.
Okay, it's as hard as regular plastic, but it's a softer version. So it creates a duller thudding sound with the BBs inside of it, or BB. And so what happens over the course of time, little bits of that plastic start turning to powder inside the bait from the rattles banging back and forth on it. Well, when that powder accumulates, it dulls the sound even more. So as the bait gets used, it becomes more efficient. Okay. And that is what the beauty part of butyrate is. All right. So with and you're right, dude, it's a harder plastic to work with, and it is a little bit more money, but it's well worth the money. So going back to the speed end. So when I designed this bait, I needed something real tight, wobble, and a very small pitch and roll. I didn't want something really, crazy. I wanted it to stay really tight. So this bait, so I did it, and originally my design, I did it out of a deep little end body.
Yeah.
And it worked like a charm.
Iconic.
Oh, dude, money. So then I did it. So then I made a color. I said, well, if we're going to do the speed ends, let's do a color, let's do some colors in Norman. Let's get Norman back to the 21st century, because Norman lures has been stagnated for a while with new development.
Yeah.
So I brought out these new colors. We put them in the speed end first. And then what we did on LureNet, there's a thing called Custom Paint Shop. So what we did was we put some of my new colors in the deep little end on the Custom Paint Shop. And we introduced them there. They're still available there. We're running out of them. It's a limited time, limited run only. So we're running out of them, but there are still some there. So here's what I wound up doing, because one of my favorite ways to fish for smallmouth bass is with crankbaits. Okay. And I don't think it's underrated technique for smallmouths, but I catch literally, if I have my druthers, I'd rather crankbait fish for them. So I designed so I designed some colors for these things. And I actually have 3 of them here, but there's more colors on LureNet than just what I'm going to show you. But in the springtime, when we focus on red, okay, when we were focusing on the reds, I wanted a color that was a darkish red, almost like black candy apple red with the orange belly. So I did this color. It's called Ghost Pepper. I'm going to try this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, so I did this color. It's called Ghost Pepper.
Yes.
Little greenback on that.
Yes, dude. That's
right. And so you could see the transition between the olive black, the red, and the orange. Well, if you look close enough, just like Chili Bowl, it's got all those little tiny red flakes in them. I don't know if you could see the red flakes.
I'm seeing a little bit of the shine of the red flakes.
Wow.
Yep.
And this also is a gel coat bait. So it casts like a mile.
Gorgeous.
They're really cool. And so here's the thing, what people don't understand with the color red, okay? Red is a cold water color. Don't ask me why. I've been through this a million times.
Like
I have
under
no idea.
50 degrees, like
yes.
Red. Yeah, me too.
Yes.
Boom.
42-ish, 50 red. And then all of a sudden red starts to wane a little bit. So what I realized was that as the water temperatures start to warm past the 50-degree mark, I start to transition out of my reds into my shad and minnow imitators.
Yeah.
And realistically, dude, that's the magic if you understand, colors and what's going on. So what I wound up doing was, of course, because I'm Italian, I had to make a color called extra virgin olive oil. Okay?
Me too, baby. Come on, you did not make an extra virgin olive oil.
Dude, you are looking at it right now. Okay. So the cool thing about this bait,
have it.
The cool thing about this bait is if you
I'm dying.
And I'm really bummed out because you can't hardly see it on the computer light, but it actually looks like oil. Okay. It's got blue, purple, light blue pearl. I got the you know, the light belly, but all my bellies are fading out. I fade them out in the bottom, and so it's a sick phenomenon.
I can see the highlights. We can see that blue and pearl coming through.
Yeah, it's really hard. I can't see it on the computer.
We could definitely see the purple highlight coming through. Yeah, because there's some favorite colors and plastics.
So let me ask you that: don't you think that would be a good color? You know, once that the red bite's kind of fading and the shad bite's coming into play, that's like kind of an in between color.
Oh, dude, it's a magic color because I hammer them on it, and then what happens with this color is the way I designed the color and laid all my transparent pearls over all this stuff. It has a lot of depth to it. So when it hits the water, it almost reflects the characteristics of the water. So if you're in super clear water, it actually fishes kind of transparent. If you're in a little bit of off-colored water, it actually almost turns into a solid. It's a really neat color. And it took me, every color I make, I fish because I'm the kind of guy that I want to see what it looks like in the water. You know, I learned that from fly fishing. You could tie a fly and it looks great in your hand, but the minute you put it in the water, it doesn't do crap, you know? So that's how I design my colors. And I'll tell you a color story about fly fishing in the flats in saltwater.
I want to talk about do you believe color matters?
Yeah, dude, if I didn't, I wouldn't paint colors. I'd make everything black.
So, and Eric, are you referring to my statements when I try to keep things simple? I do believe color.
No. I just wanted to know Frank's perspective. I know yours.
Yeah. No. Keeping your colors simplistic, especially in plastics, is a good idea because there's so many colors in soft plastics, you can get overrun by it. Sure. I do the same thing with my soft plastics. I have probably 8 colors that I throw.
Okay.
Now my crankbaits are different. What I do with my crankbaits, because dude, I'm like a crankbait freak. So what I do with my crankbaits is I categorize them. Okay. I have my red spring colors. We put those aside. Okay. And my red spring crankbait colors, by the way, I don't throw any baits in red really that dive deeper than 12 or 15 feet because that time of year, you're not really fishing that. Not saying you can't ever, because bass will make a liar out of everybody. So you can't. So I categorize them that way. Then I go to my what I call hot shad patterns, like chartreuse and blue, chartreuse and black, fire tiger, my hot shad stuff. And then I go to my, just my standard 2-tone baitfish patterns, like lavender shad, for example, grayback, pearl sides, simple. And then I go to my real minnow patterns, like, extra virgin olive oil or holy shad. Holy shad's another good one. This thing's got, little bit of gold, green. It's crazy looking in real life. This is another really good pattern that I did. Wow. So that's kind of how I keep my crankbaits color wise. A lot of people organize their crankbaits by depth or whatever. I do it by depth and color. So I'll have a box that I know that if the water temperature's X, this box is always going to be by my side. As the water warms up, I got this one, and so on. And I do the same thing with my jerk baits too. So that's kind of how I keep it simple. But look, I'm bloviating, and I apologize. Once I get started, I can't stop.
No, good. So listen, the feedback, the comments are incredible here. Guys are digging this. So keep going.
All right. So here's color. Okay. I was fly fishing for the first time in saltwater, and I brought down some fly tying materials. I got my fly rod stuff out, and we were on a vacation at Sanibel Island. So I told my wife, right outside the condo, there's a giant rock in the water. And so I can see by the current and the eddy which way the tide was coming. And we were sitting there one morning, and I'm looking at the rock, and I'm like, holy crap, the tide's going out. I said, honey, I'll be back in a little while. So I run out there and I start fishing, and I'm getting some follow-ups. I'm not getting any takers. And I was standing in the water, and all of a sudden this this whole school of bait fish swam by me, and they kind of like stayed around me because I was making a current break as the tide was going out. So they got in front of me, and they were all piling up in front of me, and I just sat there watching them. I said, well, no wonder I'm not catching anything. So I got out of the water, ran back to the condo, and I started tearing up old flies and tearing up stuff looking for color combination that resembled these bait fish. Well, at the time I didn't know what they were, but now I know they're pilchards. So I tied up flies to look just like them. And then by then, of course, the tide had gone out, it had ebbed. And, you know, so I hung out with the family for a little while, and I keep running back and looking at the rock. Well, then all of a sudden I see that little bit of movement on the sides of the rock. And I go, honey, I got to go, bye. And I went back out there on the rising tide and started plowing the speckled trout. I mean, like plowing them. So nice. I was like, holy shit, this is madness, you know? So then, of course, I spent the rest of my family vacation in the ocean and never even saw anybody till we had to leave to go home.
Man, I feel you, man.
But that's color. That's what the color does in the water. That's why you have to look at stuff in the water. It's pretty to pick something up and go, ooh, look at that. Ooh. But what does it look like when it's submerged? What does it look like when it's 5 feet down? What does it look like when it's 10 feet down?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because at 10 feet, everything starts to change color. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what I do. I study color real hard. And, you know, I don't paint lures for people for money because I don't want to get into that. I don't want to be in my basement my entire life with a face mask on and then in 5 years come out with a nervous disorder. So, you know, I only design colors to be produced by the tackle companies. And then if I paint special colors, I paint them for me. So, you know, every color that I put out on the market, or I don't put them out, they put them out. So every color that they put on the market, I've actually fished with, and I've actually had success with it. Because if I make a color and I don't catch fish on it, it's not going out.
Right.
I mean, that's it in a nutshell. And the crazy thing about the deep little end colors is they were just put on LureNet on the custom paint shop, so they're still available, but they're running out. I think they only print a very small limited quantity. So
I was just going to ask Frank,
like 300 for the flat A.
In the comments, everybody's curious how they can get some. What's the best way? Like if they want to go tonight to grab some, what would you do?
Just go to lurenet.com and go to the paint shop.
Okay.
And then what'll happen is you'll see a Norman deep little N, and then you know, you'll click on it, and then you can go through and look at all the colors. But all those deep little N colors are actually my colors.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I hope
so.
I hope there's still baits after this live stream.
Buy some of those reds for me, man. And EVO. Hey, Frank. So of the Norman lineup, of all the iconic baits, you've got the new Speed N, great bait addition to the line. But of the iconic ones, what's on your deck that's Norman that are your go-tos in the lineup of the Norman family?
There's 3 of them really, but because they're each different depths. But a DD22, when it's time to fish in the summer, DD22 is glued to my arm, and then a deep little N.
Yeah.
And then early in the year, I switch off between the deep little N and the middle N. The middle N is probably
underrated bait. Underrated bait,
dude. Money.
Underrated bait.
Money. That is the best. That is the best statement I've ever heard ever. Because
I just bought those off of eBay, man. Deep little N's.
Nice.
Just underrated, man. Underrated.
Totally, dude. This lure, like when everybody's throwing all the, you know, red crankbaits that they claim, you know, run around the rocks and do all the things that they're supposed to do. This bait was the original one, and it hunts, dude. This bait catches more fish in that time of year than anything I own. And
don't believe him? Go to the Norman website on YouTube, and you can watch the action of every single Norman crankbait in their lineup. They put a diver under the water, and you can watch how the middle end runs, and you'll see it hunts like a scalded dog.
Yeah, that middle end is money. So here, so I did a show. Okay, I don't do podcast stuff, but I do how-to fishing videos, and a lot of those will be on LureNet, or you could just YouTube, Frank Scalish fishing or whatever. But most of them are, well, they all originated on LureNet. But here, so this show didn't air yet; it's not out yet. And here's what I did, because there's a lot. You guys watching this show love smallmouth. So do I. So here's the thing: whenever I'm deep cranking for smallmouth, okay. And when I deep crank, I'm not afraid to throw a bait, this big, because smallmouth are mental and they'll eat it. So I throw the DD22 a ton for smallmouth. Okay. So when I'm DD, oh dude, listen, when I'm DD22 and okay, I always have a deep little end tied on. I'm going to tell you why. And everyone that smallmouth fishes has seen this, so it's not going to be, it's not going to be anything. I hook the fish with the DD22. This guy's killing me over here in the background. He's taking me out of my talking, man.
I know.
Sorry, man. I'm trying to slow you down. Go ahead.
I crank that thing down. When I hook one on the DD22 and I get them into the boat, okay, I immediately put it down and throw the deep little end out, and I start smoking the deep little end back to the boat. Wham! You catch one right away. Because
wait a minute, because you drew the school up?
Yes, because you know that when you hook one down there and there's more than one, the rest of them follow it up. Okay, sometimes you get double headers. I mean, you know that if you crankbait for smallmouth, you obviously catch double headers. So when you catch one on the deep diver, you pulled fish up, and those fish don't go back down right away. They stay and they look around and they hunt a little bit and they look around. And so by going back on them right away with a deep little end, you're putting that bait right where they stopped before they go back to the bottom.
What a thought, man. I wouldn't even thought of that.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
I did that. Oh, dude, I did a whole video on it, and it was like clockwork, dude. I could hook one on the DD, flip that other one in the boat, let them go, fire the deep little end out there, and bam, I got another one. And that's something.
Let me ask you a question, Frank. Would you have done that video if you were still on the Elite Tour?
Probably not, because I would still be fishing the Elite Tour, and I wouldn't have the time. You know what I mean?
Okay. I meant like sharing.
We meant about sharing that. That was key what you just said, man.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm not shy about sharing information. Like, I wouldn't give somebody my waypoints, but I mean, I would tell them, I'd go, yeah, sure, dude. This is what I'm doing. Because here, look, you guys know it. Y'all fish. Everybody watching fishes. It's hard to catch someone else's fish. It is. We all know it. I might approach structure fishing at a completely different way that someone else might approach it. And if I find a spot, when I find a spot on structure, I know exactly where the sweet spot is. I know exactly what angle my boat has to be at. And I know exactly what angle my cast has to be at.
Are you a live scope guy?
I don't know. I don't have one. No, I have, your standard typical. I got a 9-inch on the 9-inch on the trolling motor and a 12-inch on the dash. I don't have. That's all I got. Side imaging is technical as I have. Not because I don't want it, just because I'll get it eventually.
Sure, you're doing your thing.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, when I fished the elites, I was a little more candid. I mean, I don't want to give up everything, but I mean, my thought process is this, okay? If I have the ability to teach somebody something that they don't know, then I would rather teach somebody how to fish. You know what I'm saying? When I grew up, we didn't have the internet, what you guys are doing now. We didn't have this available to us. So what we had to do to learn was we had to read a magazine, and you had to wait every month for the stupid ass thing to come out. And then when it came out, what you were reading was totally irrelevant because it was way past due. It wasn't up to the minute. So it was way past due. So then I spent all my time on the water.
Wow.
That's how I learned all this stuff. And see, and the crazy thing is like, if I struggled somewhere, let's say I got my brains kicked out on the Ohio River, for example. And in the beginning of my fishing, I got my brains kicked out there a ton.
Tough ass fishery, man.
Oh yeah, it's brutal. But I got sick. It is. It's brutal. But I got sick of getting beat. So I started driving down there every free minute I had to fish down there.
Ohio River. I just had to show you the wee bait. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay.
I'll just keep showing crankbaits that relate. Don't ignore me. I'm just going to do it. You keep rolling.
I don't want to tell you that I foil sided a bunch of Normans.
Oh no, you did not.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I did.
Oh god,
I did, and I hate to tell you how good they looked.
I know how strong foil baits can be, man.
That the flash that the foil kicks off is so different.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so different, and that flash. You know, that flash is nice with the foil sided baits because it has a muted flash, and in the dirtier water, it's just dude, it's just a really nice thing. It's hard to put foil sides on a round crankbait though.
It is a bitch,
but I do it.
All right, I have to. I'm just my.
What do you got, Eric?
On overdrive.
I know.
Hold on, man, Frank. So my dad was an artist. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So my dad was an artist. I get so excited about this, man. So
I'm just looking behind. When you leave, I look behind you to see what I could take.
and God rest his soul. He passed away. It'll be 3 years this September, man. But I used to hang around, and that's what got me to be a creative soul. I think I've got part of my dad's soul within me, man. So I love to create in the Bass Lab. I like to. I tied flies for a decade. I trout fished. I saltwater, fly fished. I've done it all, and I love it. The process of creating something down here in my basement in the winter months just drives me. I love this stuff. So I came across in some of his art supplies a box of gold foil, paper thin gold foil.
Like gold leaf?
I go, thank you. And so I go, you know what? I took a little Sally Hansen nail polish. I wetted the side of a crankbait. I said, you know what? I think I could do this. So you know how a crankbait gets really good when it gets ratted up?
Oh, yeah.
And some of the finish gets pulled off. So I said, I'm going to throw a little Sally Hansen down. I'm going to just let it dry for a second, and I'm going to press this gold leaf on it and see what it looks like. So I took this Rapala, the Big Brat, which is the ugliest paint job ever by Rapala. It's bone, but I turned it into a gold leaf ratted up Big Brat and the iconic orange belly. So I got a little bone showing here like it's been a shad that's been eaten up. I got the gold leaf on the side, so I'm still going to get that flash, and then I painted the back black and the orange belly.
That looks good, dude.
Dude, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Oh, that's good.
That's the kind of stuff I love to do. And then I got to show you one more thing because I don't know how long you could be here. This is one of my proudest moments. So Travis and I did a paint off with crankbaits live on a show.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So Travis chose to
won, actually.
Good
for you, man.
I blew you away, dude. I devastated you. I did.
I took the crankbait and spray painted flat black and said, "There you go."
So I used some of my what I call my magic fairy dust, and I just did this live, and then I didn't show what I was doing down here.
Blew me away.
And so then I brought it up, and I printed off his website the word "crush," and I put it on with Sally Hansen and cleared over it. But on the other side, it's Travis Manson's head. So I'm gonna catch a fish on Travis Manson's head. This is a balsa bait by Craigenstein Custom. I think it's called a Colt.
What if they reject it?
I don't really care. I just want to throw it. It's never seen the water yet.
That's
I can't
crazy.
believe because I'm waiting to go out with him. And
I forgot all about that.
That's
dude.
funny.
You have to bring your black one out, and I'll bring this one out, and we're going to see. Water gets above 50, or when the shad gets in the day, we're throwing it.
I want to get your opinion. I know there's crankbaits that are flat black. I haven't thrown any. I really haven't. I'll be honest. Have you messed with that? And if so, what is the benefits, or have you seen it work?
Yeah.
Well, think about the iconic pattern called skunk. Travis, maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't.
I have.
But,
yeah.
a lot of the Carolina crankbait painters would paint a skunk, and basically it's a black crankbait with a white line down the back and maybe some orange on the bill. I think I got a skunk over there and a laser lure that I could bring.
I believe it'll work. I haven't
Yeah.
had the experience to throw in those, so I wanted to get your opinion.
And I don't doubt for a minute Eric's got one over there.
There,
I knew he did.
There's your skunk. So it's really opposites, and you'll see laser lure skunk. But talk about that. What were these painters back in the day? I mean, I've never ever seen anybody throw skunk.
Okay, that's a pure contrast bait.
Right.
Okay, so what happens is the bass see white very well.
Yeah.
So that bait is very contrasted. It's stark. It's black and it's white.
Yep.
So it's very visible to the bass. And so when the bait pitches and rolls, where the white and the black, as it pitches, you get a flash of white, a flash of black. If you ever seen the people that paint their hubcaps white and red, and when they drive, it looks pink.
Yeah.
So it's the same principle. That bait actually looks gray in the water.
Crazy.
You see what I'm saying? It's
never thought of it that way.
Yeah, it's all about being underwater.
I'm bowing.
So, bow down. And so it's all about being under the water. But back to your question about the black crankbaits. You know what? I do throw black crankbaits, but I honestly only fish them at night, which is weird. So what I'll do is I'll paint a bait black, and then I'll put like a silver herringbone on it. And the silver herringbone gives me a little shimmer and a little bit of flash, but the bait is black, and basically it's silhouettes.
Yeah, very much so.
Right, so the bass can see it better. It silhouettes better. So I'll do the same thing with my spinner baits. I'll put black nickel blades on them, black skirts, and a black trailer.
See, you don't see people throwing black spinner baits. I've seen the effect of this. There's a guy on the Potomac River. We fished a little team tournament. He was a stud. And he employed that black spinner bait, but you don't see many people that he did gold blades, by the way, black skirt with a little bit of crystal mylar that was green tinsel inside of it. It was a weird combination, but man, he scorched them in muddy water.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I experimented with copper blades because copper's a little darker than gold. Yeah, I thought at night the copper would be fantastic, and I caught fish on it. But the minute I went to black nickel, I smoked them. So incredible. I just stayed with the black nickel blades, and they make nighttime spinner baits now.
Yeah, 38s. Was it the 38 special Strike King? Was it 38 special?
and I think Booyah might have a night line, and
they do.
I think War Eagle might have a night line or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's no joke. I mean, that's for real. Those really work at night. And, you know, I quit fishing at night when I had kids because I'd fish all night. I'd get home at 7 o'clock in the morning and the kids would be up and want to do everything. And I'd be like zombie man. You're like, get away from me. Whose kids are you?
Burned out, man.
Yeah. It's like, why did I have you?
Can I take you back to the crankbait for a minute? It's an iconic Norman crankbait. And, they picked up on it in Japan when Rick Clun, I think it was Rick Clun that kind of made it famous. I had probably not on the JDM one I'm about to show you, but on the regular Norman, and literally scorched. It's probably one of my best post spawn days ever. I was north of the Wilson Bridge. I fished. We had a group of fish that was on wood, and literally it was the most incredible crankbait bite I've ever experienced. One of them.
And
yeah, you'd be reeling this crankbait, right? And literally could feel your line tighten it up, so you know you're coming over the wood. This is where all these fish were, on this isolated wood off the bank. You couldn't see any of the wood, but the wood was everywhere. And literally the fish, you had to pay attention to feel the vibration of the bait. They were coming up behind it, pushing the bait, and it would stop vibrating. And you just had to lean into them. I mean, I can't tell you the numbers of 5s, 4s, and 6s.
Oh, yeah.
We stayed on that group of fish for a week, but that's all they would eat. And this is the Nori's worming crank shot with the big old hook. Rick Clun, I think, maybe talked to Nori Otanabe, but man, what a bait.
That deep tiny end is fantastic.
It's sneaky.
Oh, dude, I fished that thing through buckbrush. You'd freak out how good it comes through the buckbrush. I didn't realize it at the time. I was actually doing another show, springtime crankbait fishing.
Yeah.
And I was on a northern pike lake, and I started mauling the pike. So I said, I got to get away from these pike, man.
Sure.
I got to get away. So I pulled into this pocket, and it had all this buckbrush that was about 1 foot, 2 feet under the water.
Right.
And I threw that deep teeny end in there, man, and holy smokes. And I couldn't believe it.
It's unbelievable. It is a sneaky crankbait. That's like a co-angler crankbait, because I don't know anybody today throwing the deep tiny end. No, and maybe big pros are doing it. They don't talk about it. They keep it in their panic box. But if you need a bite, and from post spawn when it gets tough, I mean, damn, dude, right? I'm just like bite generators.
Well, so it's fun. It's funny because it's like a piece of popcorn. I mean, here, think about it. You could sit down, you could eat a big fat T-bone dinner, have a couple of beers. You're stuffed to the wall. You're watching, basketball or baseball or football, and your wife walks in with a big bowl of popcorn, and you got to stick your hand in there and eat some. And you just ate like it was your last supper.
100%, man.
You always go for that piece of popcorn for some stupid reason.
That whole finesse category of fishing, and there's finesse crankbaiting too. And there's not a lot of people talking about. There's a lot of good baits that are finesse, but that's just one of the iconic ones. And I know you're a Norman guy. I had to bring it up, and I wanted to get your opinion. I've had some stellar days on it. I also wanted to ask you, what are some of the most underrated old school techniques for finding and locating bass offshore, or anywhere? Just if you're covering water, underrated techniques that people resist to throw, don't throw anymore, have forgotten about.
Probably the Carolina rig,
ball and chain.
Dude, my absolute favorite way to fish.
Can we talk about that? I want to hear.
Yeah.
Take this audience. There's 386 people still watching right now. Can you take us through exactly your setup and your top baits for sea rigging?
Yeah.
And when you employ it? I mean, go as deep as you want or as shallow as you want. I'm curious. And then do you have a finesse Carolina rig you mix? I do, and I'd like to talk about that.
I do.
You go ahead, man.
All right. First thing is my rod is 7.5 foot medium heavy.
Okay.
And it's graphite. No composite, no nothing. It's graphite.
Yep.
My main line is 50-pound braid.
Whoa.
That's what I throw as a main line.
And you could throw it a mile.
Yeah, you could throw it a mile, no stretch. Hookups are easy. My leader line is monofilament always. And usually I start with 17-pound mono.
And how long is your leader generally?
18 to 22.
Okay,
I don't do the extra long leader stuff.
Okay.
I've run into issues with that. Even fishing in the grass, they say, "Oh, make your leader longer than the grass is." Well, you know what? No, because it hangs. And then I got that period where you pick up the line and you have all that movement from the fish holding on to your leader, the sinker lifting up. You got too much crap going on.
Too much going on. Can I ask you the brand of line that you use for your leader? Because I vacillate on line. It drives me down. And then make a mental note. Somebody, Travis, we got to ask him what line he cranks with. Go ahead on the Carolina rig. Sorry. I got so many thoughts.
All right. The Carolina rig, you guys are going to hate my guts, man.
Don't tell me it's big game.
No, it's
what's wrong with big game?
I love it.
It's silver thread.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. It's an old school line.
That's right. I'm an old school dude, man. You see this? Dude. There's no hair up here. That's not because I was just born. So
is it clear? Is it green? I know they used to make colors.
It's clear.
Okay.
And so I just a lot of people that when you talk Carolina rigging, you mentioned the 3 foot leaders,
18 inches to 22.
That's
me too.
Yeah. Okay. And here's the whole trick. Okay. I see more guys, they hate throwing the rig because they don't understand it. B, they don't even know how to fish it properly, and they lose a ton of fish on it. Yeah. So the whole trick, let's talk about not losing a fish first. Cause I'll tell you right now, the Carolina rig is just another extension of my arm. I am so at home fishing it. It's like ridiculous. And so the whole key with the Carolina rig on the hook set is when I get the fish on and I feel them, if you're largemouth fishing, it's generally a nice whoomp, and you got them. And with smallmouth, a lot of times they just they don't commit right away. So I just keep it moving, especially when I'm feeling them down there. I keep it moving. They get it. I keep moving it, and then my rod starts to load up, and then I just pull on them. It's not a wham hook set. I pull on them because you have no stretch, and I'm using a 7.5 foot rod.
You're picking up a lot of line.
Oh, dude, if I move the rod 3 feet, I'm moving the fish 3 feet.
Absolutely. Gear ratio on your reel.
I use generally like a 6.4 to 1, 27 inches of line per reel turn. I'm not a super fast reel guy. I actually started Carolina rigging with crankbait reels. So I even have less of a, less line pickup. The reason for that is if you get overexcited, you can over crank them.
Sure.
And then you run into problems. So when I'm fighting a fish on the Carolina rig, I'm letting him fight, and I'm just reeling him in constantly while he's fighting. I'm not pulling him too hard. He's not fighting me too hard. And I land probably 99% of my fish.
That's incredible. Hook. Talk to me about the hook.
Okay.
Walk us through that.
All right. Hook's critical.
Oh, I agree.
Everybody goes with these gigantic gapped hooks. And it's ludicrous because here, what happens is I generally am Carolina rigging with a 2-aught.
Wow.
For the most part, I'm using a 2-aught. And here's the reason why.
J-bend 2-aught.
I'm using like a Mustad Ultra Point Megabyte. So it's it's not the super wide gap, big. I'm sure you have them there. You probably have the first one ever to come off the mold. So anyway, so here's the reality with that. Okay. So you only need a gap twice as fat as the plastic that you're Carolina rigging. So what happens when you go to these, and I learned a valuable lesson on Okeechobee because it cost me huge money.
What?
I lost one about 8 pounds.
Oh my God.
Okay. Fighting them to the boat.
No.
So instead of me just taking a deep breath and realizing that shit happens, okay, I panicked. So I changed hooks. I went to a bigger gap.
Damn.
Hook. I lost another one about 8.
Oh my God.
I cut the hook off. I went to an even bigger gapped hook, and I lost 2 more nice fish. So I sat down in the bottom of my boat with the lump in my Adam's apple like I'm going to cry like a child. And I put back the 2-aught on and just settled down. And then I didn't lose another bass the rest of the day.
And you know what's interesting about that? Small hooks have holding power. People don't believe it.
Dude.
I've caught 24-inch rainbow trout on a size 20.
Yeah. And for those people who don't know what a size 20 is, you can't see it to put the line through it.
No, I had to use magnifiers to tie my little midge pattern. You know this because you fly.
Oh, yeah, dude.
High flies, dude.
Yeah, you
Small
can't.
hooks have holding power.
Absolutely. And so that's the biggest mistake, and especially with smallmouth, because smallmouth have a tendency to roll the bait. When they get a bait in their mouth, they're used to crunching on crayfish and stuff. Yeah. And so they roll that thing around to get it where they can swallow it. Okay. They can't swallow a crayfish face first. They have to swallow them tail first. So they go down smooth because the pinchers and stuff get, it's the same way they take a bait fish. They might hit a bait fish from behind, but they blow it right back out and suck it in head first.
That's
because they can't swallow it against their
with the fins.
Yeah, they can't swallow it against their dorsal fin. Whoa. So what happens when you're Carolina rigging smallmouth, guys that are set hook happy, they miss tons of them because you got to let the fish take the thing.
Interesting.
But you also can't stop it because with smallmouth, if you stop the Carolina rig, the fish leave it. They're like cats. You know, when you play around with a cat, you move the cat toy, he jumps on it.
Get a catch. Get a catch.
But so you know what I'm talking about. You move it, they move. You move it, they move. You stop it, they look at it, and they go away. And then the minute you twitch it again, they come back and smoke the thing.
100%.
It's the same. Their smallmouth are the same way. You've seen them tail a jerk bait.
Oh, sure.
You pump the jerk bait, they're right there. You stop it, they back up. You pump it again, they're right there. You know what I mean? And it's the same way with the Carolina rig.
Dude, so top baits for Carolina rigging, and that's my last question. I can see Travis getting impatient.
No, I'm not impatient, Brohim. I'm freaking like jaw drop, freaking shit's going through my head. I'm sorry, I'm being quiet.
No,
but I'm not impatient.
I got 100 more questions. I did my homework.
Crazy.
Oh no! We're gonna be doing this show till 5 a.m. man.
And we're Italians, man. Man, Italians can talk, man. You got to interrupt if you want to get a question in, bro.
That's right.
You got to eat each other's conversations. That's how it goes in Italian household.
That's how it.
Family style, you got to talk family style. There's a lot of interrupting. There's a lot of craziness going on, man.
And it gets louder.
Big time. It's like being in Brian's Cove on the Potomac with 20 guys from PA, and I'm throwing my little sneaky ass finesse Carolina rig, and I'm whipping their ass, and they're coming closer and closer. And it didn't matter. They didn't know what I was doing. They didn't know what I was doing. I was throwing a split shot rig, by the way, with a centipede and whipping their ass. Perfect. I mean, with a little smelly jelly UV fucking, bass feast. Forget about it. It's unbelievable. So anyway, so what are your top baits for Carolina rigging? I'm flipping out. I love
All right. I do. First of all, if I'm on them Carolina rigging, I will have 3 or 4 Carolina rods out, and that's it, except for one crankbait. Because anytime I Carolina rig, I always have a DD22 on just in case. So what I do is I'll rig one. Yum came out with a new spine craw, which is psycho, dude. I used to Carolina rig a speed craw a ton.
Me too.
But when the spine craw came out, it's a tiny bit longer, it's a little bit fatter, and I love the way it sits on the hook. The legs move, the little pinchers move with you could hardly move the thing, and the little pinchers move on that spine craw. So especially when I'm fishing current areas, I don't have to do much, and the thing's still doing its thing down there. The other thing I'll do when I need a little bit more movement out of a bait is I'll go to the Christie craw or the lizard. I'm a huge underrated. Forgotten about bait. I'm a huge lizard fan.
4-inch or 6?
No, 6. I do the 6. You know what? I used to play with the 4-inchers, but why bother, man? They crush the 6 and they crush the 8. So why even bother with a 4?
Sure.
That's my theory on the lizard. I flip and pitch a lizard. I Carolina rig the lizard. I even throw the lizard weightless in this post spawn, pre-spawn.
Dude, it's like throwing a trick worm and dead stick in it.
Dude, when them bass get in that invisible zone where you can't see them, oh my God!
Nobody has the patience for that, man.
How are you?
Sorry.
How are you rigging that lizard?
You are way too quiet
when you're weightless.
I just rig the hook on it. Texas rig. Oh yeah. Fire it out there and you wait a second. And here's the cool thing about it: you sit there and you wait, and it's falling, doing its thing. If it hits the bottom, I just skirt it around a little bit, and if my line doesn't start moving, I reel it in and cast it out again.
So crazy. That's awesome. All right, what's your favorite color for that weightless technique? Green pumpkin, watermelon? I know it depends on the water quality, but if you could only pick one,
I would go green pumpkin blue flake or green pumpkin purple flake. If I can only have one.
Smallie, largey, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I won Lake Erie with a 4-inch green pumpkin purple dinger.
Damn son.
On a jig head.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, as long as I'm somewhere in that watermelony, green pumpkin-y feel, if you only gave me one color.
Right. What about the hook for that weightless lizard technique?
2-aught. Same.
Megabyte. Boom.
Same.
Love it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Back in the day, I was very anal about everything I was doing. So if I encountered a situation where I lost fish, I analyzed every single thing I was doing, from my rod length, my line size, my hook, my knots, how I was setting the hook, everything, until I narrowed it down where I stopped losing fish.
Yeah, it's strike to catch ratio, man.
Yeah, exactly. And so and I'm really good. Like I would come in from tournaments and guys would be like, "Oh man, I lost this and I lost that and I lost this and I lost that," and I'm like, okay, I lost one today.
Yeah,
he
something going on
jumped at the side of the boat when I was trying to grab him and he came off. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I narrowed it down to the fact where, to the point where I literally fish about 100% from hook to land ratio.
That's awesome, man. You're tuned in. So can we go back to the Carolina rigs, 3 to 4 Carolina rig rods, and what weight? Egg, typical, just rolling around lead sinker. What style of weight and what weights in your system?
And before we go there, I need to know why 3 or 4. Is it because if you break off, you got one ready to go, or is it different weights? Go ahead.
Both, really. But and here, look, sometimes the bass will have a real key in on what you're throwing. Like they might be keying in on an 8 or a 10-inch worm and not the little creature bait, or conversely, they might want the creature bait and not the bigger bait. So I have the 3 on, because as soon as I start catching them, then I mix it up. Because what happens if I'm in an area and I'm throwing a tiny little creature bait and I'm catching 2-pounders, and I put the 6 or an 8-inch lizard on and I start catching 3-pounders? What if I go to the 10-inch worm and start catching 5-pounders? Now I may only catch 2 5-pounders.
That doesn't matter. You're in good shape.
Right, exactly. And so that's the reason. Now, if I'm really super dialed in, like on Champlain, and I'm Carolina rigging, a Craw style bait, and I'm dialed in, then I'll just have 4 rigged up with the Craw style bait on it.
Nice. Bead or no bead? To bead or not to bead? That is the question. Plastic or glass?
Only plastic.
Right on. Okay,
only
gotcha.
Plastic. I got
color matter in the bead.
I just use orange. I don't care what color the bead is. I don't want them to eat the bead.
No,
so
right.
I don't care what color the bead is. And I got my butt hurt with glass on Eufaula.
Yeah.
I had one about 8 pounds fighting them to the boat, and I got him all the way up to the boat. And right when I was going to get them, you know how you lift up on them and your sinker and shit come out of the water? When I was lifting up on them to get them out, I noticed that my glass bead was shattered. As soon as I saw the glass bead shattered, the bass took a lunge and it cut my braided line.
Oh my God.
And right then and there, I said, I will never use glass again. And I never used glass ever since.
I know they made those like true tungsten 4 speeds, Peter T. They were good. They were hard. They made a clacking sound. All right. So lead, round,
tungsten,
buddy.
I use a tungsten drop shot. I use a tungsten Carolina rig weight. Oh, you know it, dude. 3/4 ounce.
Yeah.
Always, except if I'm throwing my finesse rig. 3/4 ounce always.
Frank, you teased us a few times with the finesse rig. We got to talk about it if you'd like.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so here's the deal. I'll throw my finesse Carolina rig on a 7.5-foot spinning rod. I'll throw 10 or 12 pound braid, and I'll throw an 8 or a 10 pound mono leader. Sometimes 12.
And so what are you trying to, I guess, what's your reasoning behind that over a more powerful setup, if you will? Is it the feel? Is it a smaller weight, shallower water?
It's just a finesse technique. I'll go down to smaller baits. I'll do a tube on that thing a lot, a 4-inch ringworm, something real finessey, and something where I don't want to make a lot of commotion when it hits the water. I've seen instances where that has played. So it's in my arsenal. Now, when I'm structure fishing, hardcore offshore stuff, you won't see that come out of my box. It will never come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
but in like post spawn and pre spawn when you're fishing 4 to 5 feet deep. If the fish are skittish, if there's a lot of fishing pressure in the area, sometimes knocking down to that finesse rig is a winner.
Dude, I was doing the ultra finesse Carolina rig, essentially, which is a split shot rig in grass that was, 3 to 4 feet with literally, and this is a long time ago. Guys are like, Brian's Cove. Yeah, dude, they used to spawn in Brian's Cove. They have it for a while, but I'm talking, I'm going way the fuck back. Doesn't matter where I was. No, it was in a grass bed with a bunch of boats, throwing a split shot rig and whipping literally everybody's ass. That's all I got.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. A buddy of mine and I fished a team tournament on one of these small lakes up here, and I kept missing them on the big rig.
Yeah,
I just kept missing fish. I'm like, I don't understand. They're not committing to this damn thing. And we went to the finesse rig and we plowed the smallmouth, dude. I mean, it was like ridiculous.
It's amazing.
It is. And we won the tournament, and we caught all of them on the finesse rig in literally the last minutes of the tournament.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy. And
I said ringworm. You said 4-inch ringworm, another bait that will save your ass in the summer.
Oh yeah,
on the rivers. You can't get a bite, man. Throw a 4-inch ringworm, and
dude, that's all. Dude, that's all we used to flip on the Ohio River.
Yeah.
We throw that in black and white.
They still eat it.
I know they still do. Now I use them as spinnerbait trailers.
Black grape with a freaking pearl tail, man. That is a money color, or brown orange or whatever.
We used to throw the black with the white tail all the time.
That's so cool, man. It's a skunk ringworm.
Yeah,
Who
dude,
makes that anymore?
I don't know. I think Venom might make it.
Oh, yeah. Venom. That's an old school company right there. They've been around for a while.
Yeah, it's so funny, man, because we're like talking about vintage stuff that's really not so vintage, because hell, I still fish with the stuff today.
That's so cool. They didn't stop biting it. People just stopped throwing it. So that's why I had an underrated technique for locating fish that you can employ. And look, if you're a co-angler stuck in the back of a boat, man, drag a freaking finesse Carolina rig around if you're in shallower water. And, I mean, unless the guy's looking at a rock with a Panoptics like Travis, and you're fucked.
Yeah, you're kind of screwed at that point. You're so done.
Listen, I want to real quick. I want to bring Alex in. He's been following the comments, and I think he has some questions. Oh, we got to talk about that June bug crankbait.
I just showed it.
Hold on, Alex, you got us.
Anyway, go ahead.
I sure do. And I mean, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to bring up. I couldn't believe Eric hadn't mentioned it yet, but Eric,
I know he's a custom painter, man. I can't. Frank, you got all right. Here's raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear. You're going to think it's a joke.
I'm going with my left hand. No, I'll go with my right.
I had this idea like a while ago, like, man, why didn't anybody make a June bug crankbait? It's such an iconic, tannic water, Florida. James River,
fantastic.
I just took some. I paint with Sally Hansen nail polish. I'm embarrassed to say, but it works for me.
Hey, whatever floats your boat, man.
Well, I don't want to stink the house up with the airbrush, And
I got it
anyway. So I came up with the old June bug crankbait, and so I got a custom painter of mine, a buddy of mine. He's coming on our show next week, and he's improving on my rudimentary June bug crankbait pattern. And I'm excited to collab with him and release it next week. So I want to show you one more thing, because you're a fly tire, I'm a fly tire. And so I this is a little Bass Lab creation. So I follow a lot of JDM products, and I got into the JDM scene a lot. So there are jigs that they tie, they're finesse jigs that are ultra long skirts. And so I found a shaky head, and I've been doing this for years. And I literally tied, I call it my shaky jig worm, because I throw it with a worm on the back. But it's basically, I don't know if you can see this.
Oh yeah, that's sexy, dude.
It's got a little bit of schlapping on the front.
Yeah.
A longer tail. It's got the crystal flash in the tail. And I made that one kind of in a yellow perch pattern. But I got the black, iconic black and blue. I've got just your standard green pumpkin, chartreuse. I've got the fire craw, and I got what I call purple rain. So
perfect.
Yeah, man. So I was out on the Potomac, 2 trips. We had a pretty good damn crankbait bite going. And at the end of the day, it slowed down. So I fired it out and caught the big fish of the day. Then we went to the Upper Bay and repeated again, man, with the perch color.
That is outstanding.
Yeah, like, I'll throw like a a little flat tail on the bottom, like a faded out color for the winter because the perch get a little faded.
Oh
and
yeah.
man, just find some rock and get on it, man, around a bridge or riprap, and the fish.
Hey, you want a really good perch color since we're talking?
Yeah, let's do it.
Look at the Yum Dinger. Look at their summer gill.
Ooh.
It's called summer gill, but here, listen. You remember earlier I was talking about it doesn't matter what it looks like in the package. What's it look like in the water?
Yes.
There's nothing more perch looking than that thing.
Dang, they got to eat it too,
I'm
don't
taking
they?
notes. I'm taking
Yeah.
notes.
Oh,
So-
I got a pack of those. You're talking about the Yum Dinger that doesn't have any salt or very little, and so
it's
on the
good.
back of a shaky head, right? You're talking
It's
about
called-
like a Senko style bait.
Yeah, it's a Senko style bait. The color is called summer gill.
Yeah, I got it. I was in love with that color, but I never really looked at it underwater.
Oh my gosh, dude! That little jig you made, man, dude.
But
Put
with
that thing on.
dude. Oh my God.
Put that thing on it. You'll freak out. Like I Ned rig their 5-inch dingers in
That's so
summer
awesome.
gill on a little tiny Ned rig.
That's
That
so
big giant dude, that thing falls down. It goes, you know what I mean? It's just like it's like a slow motion giant helicopter falling down, and it looks just like a perch. I have a lake, dude. I have a lake here that's crystal freaking clear, and I throw that thing on it. It's flat full of perch too, and I maul them, dude.
This sucks. Listen, after my
I can go upstairs. I got a bunch of packs, Travis. You don't need to buy it. They were closing them out at Dick's for like $1.99.
I'm just saying,
I fucking was going like this.
After my interview with Frank last week, I'm buying all these I don't know, spine craws. Like I just put in a huge ass order. And
you're not going to regret the spine.
I know. I'm not.
Listen, if you don't like them, I'll buy them back.
I'm not mad about it. I'm just saying, damn,
right on.
Now I got to go buy a summer gill freaking thing next.
Now you'll thank me for that. Especially with all the smallmouth waters you're fishing, you're gonna say, dude, you're gonna call me up and go, dude, here's a quarter of the money I won last week on that bait. I'm giving it to you because I love you, man. And and you're gonna call me up, and that's what I'm waiting for. That
there you go. I like it.
All right, Frank, I got to ask you, man. I've been all over the map with freaking crankbait line, like all over the map. I have some standards and staples that I always go to and I still love, but fluorocarbon cranking line that won't break the bank. Ted, can you talk about your rod reel setups for your generalized cranking, speed cranking, when you're burning a bait versus slow cranking?
Right.
Let's just talk about, if you could just take us through your setups and line choices, because you fished for a living, you're in the game still. I want to hear it.
Yeah. Okay. So my crankbait fishing is kind of detailed, so I'm not going to dumb it down, but I'm going to speed it up. For my long casting, big giant crankbait, stuff like DD22s, fat-free 7s, big stuff. I'm throwing an 8-foot medium heavy cranking stick. Again, it's not fiberglass. That's graphite. It's a very light action, really good parabolic bend. All my cranking rods are Powell crankbait rods. All of them are. That gets all the heavy duty action. Okay, and there and I can throw that rod literally with any pound line I want. It handles it, and even if I go to the lighter line, like 10, it doesn't break the line because the rod is absorbing all the shock, but I can feel everything the crankbait's doing down there. My crankbait, I'm throwing the old winches, the blue ones.
Yeah.
I'm throwing those. They reel in about 21.5 to 22 inches of line. Really, they say 23. And I like the low speed. I started looking at the Lew's BB1 because it reels in 21 inches of line. I don't throw fast. There you go, dude.
This is the OG, dude. This is the OG.
Oh,
this is the OG.
Of course it is. Of course
this is Mint from Adam Cawley. Adam, if you're watching tonight, man, thanks again. He hit me up because he knows I'm a crankbait freak.
Now I have a ton of original lose BB1Ns and BB1NGs. I think back in the day, Ryobi made them for them, and then Shimano made them for them.
Yeah.
So anyway, so back to the ranch. Okay, I throw low speed rate reels all the time, because when you're cranking, you get excited. You can't slow down a high speed reel. You just physically, mentally can't slow it down enough.
Right.
But with a lower speed reel, if you get jacked up, you can crank it a little bit quicker. You know what I'm saying? So I don't ever crankbait with a high speed reel. Now Kevin, he'll argue with me on that a lot, because he fishes much faster than any human being on the planet. But
it just works for you. He's burning a crankbait.
Oh yeah, he's smoking it. So anyway, that's what I do. And then for my smaller crankbaits, a little shorter range, I throw a Powell 725 Endurance on it. It's a graphite rod. It handles all my mid-range stuff. Again, I'm anal about losing fish, and so when I'm talking to you about this stuff, it's because I don't lose fish on them. So I use them. And generally, for the most part, I always start out cranking with 12-pound fluorocarbon. If I'm fishing square bills, I'll go to 14 and 17 and 20.
Sure.
But generally, for the most part, I'm cranking with 12. If I have to go down to 10, I'm wincing a little bit, because I don't like 10. The bait that I can get down on 10 feet is negligible between 10 and 12. So why not throw 12? You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
And that's pretty much it, as simple as I can put it.
Brand of fluorocarbon that you rely on, count on, believe in.
I've been throwing silver thread fluorocarbon since the day they made it.
Silver thread, dude.
And so here I'm gonna just say this.
Tell me why.
Because it has great abrasion characteristics for silver thread. It's not as expensive. Well, it's not as expensive because they don't freaking make it now. But
you can't get it anymore.
You can't get it anymore. I'm down to like my last 10 spools of 12. So I started researching lines, and I started first looking at line diameter, and then cost, and then how they sell it to you. Because the biggest ripoff in the world with fluorocarbon, and now I'm going to have every line company come and get me, is a 200-yard spool.
Oh, God, right, because it fucks you.
Well, if you make a mistake, you lose a reel out of it. Yeah. Because you can't spool a full reel. And I'm not saying I peel 100 yards off. I don't. I have my backing in there. But if you make a mistake and you can't get that extra reel out of the spool, basically I use all the stuff I make mistakes and can't get the spool I use for leader line for fly fishing.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, so I don't ever waste line. But so back to the original question. So I started looking at line diameters comparative to the silver thread fluoro that I was throwing. And most of what I found, and I've never used it, I've never bought a spool of it, Sunline, I've never thrown it.
Sure.
But I am going to buy some because the diameters are the same.
Oh, interesting.
And so now I will be able to know that I can still get the same depth ranges out of all my crankbaits because the line diameter is the same. Now, what I'm going to find out is how its abrasion resistant it is, how its knot strength is, and all the fun stuff that I didn't ever want to have to go through again. That now I'm going to have to. So I looked at everybody's line, and that's pretty much where I'm at. Plus, they sell it now in bulk spools.
All right. Back in the day, Clun used to crank with all mono.
Yeah, and you know what? They all use fiberglass rods too, and I don't buy any of it.
All right. So if you were using, like, my favorite cranking rod I think ever made is that fiberglass graphite blend G Loomis CBR series.
It's a good rod.
Loved it. Still have them. I haven't broken any yet.
It's a good, knock on wood, because you just totally jinxed yourself.
I know I did. I know. It's coming.
Dude, back in the day, I'll tell you one more story, and then I'm going to have to wrap up. But back in the day, I was with a rod company that was experimenting with making rods, and I love Tennessee handles on my spinning rods.
Oh yeah, me too, man. Me
so
too.
I talked to the rod company, and they had made me a Tennessee handled rod. That was the Tennessee handle was actually part of the mandrel, so it tapered into the rod blade.
Yeah, like the bullwhip, the Shimano bullwhip.
Yeah, so and they weren't the first to come out with it. The company that I'm talking about was, and I can't remember if it was Falcon or if it was
Harris. No,
it might have been. It might have been. Hell, it might have even been Lose for all I know.
Oh, it was the Lose speed stick.
Yeah, it was Lose. So yeah. So swear to God. Okay, so so listen to this. I have
got it. It's out there,
dude. So I had like 3 of these. They made them, and I was testing them out, and I was fishing with my buddy. His name's Troy Armstrong. And we grew up together. We're like brothers. Okay, even to this day. Well, he lives in North Carolina now, but we're on the phone every minute of every day together, and we fish all the time together. So anyway, so I got these tapered spinnings. I got these tapered spinning rods, and we're on Lake Norman, and we're skipping little shaky heads underneath the boat docks. Yeah. So he goes, dude, let me try that rod. I go, yeah, cool, here. So I give him one to try, and I got my other one, and I'm telling him that there's only 3 of these in the entire planet. Okay. These are like the first. And so I'm not paying attention. We're fishing, and we fish together so much that when we move around in the boat, it's like a ballet. We're never in each other's way. We're never banging into each other. We're always doing our thing. So he goes like this. Uh-oh. I go, what? He goes, I got good news and bad news. I go, what's the good news? He goes, those 2 Tennessee rod handles you have left, the value just went up.
Oh, wow.
No, man.
So done.
He had wrapped his shaky head around a nail, and he went to pop it off, and he broke like 6 inches off the rod tip. And I was like, oh my God, dude, what are you doing? You're killing me, man. Yeah, he tells me, he goes, I got good news. I said, what's the good news? He goes, the value of those rods just went up. Oh man.
Oh my God, you got to come back on. I'm begging. And Travis, you can take the whole next show. You had him on the podcast, though, man. So I'm sorry, dude.
Listen, if you guys want to hear more of Frank on a regular basis, you're on Bass Talk Live quite a bit, right?
Oh yeah, every Thursday, day 4
Thursday.
with
that's so awesome, dude.
It's fun.
Yeah.
These are really fun. They didn't have them when I was, a Ute.
The 2 Utes.
The 2 Utes.
This really was some good stuff. The comments have lit up. Craziness. I want to get Alex back in here real quick, and we'll wrap this up. But Alex, this was good.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
Man, thank you for coming on. Thank you, man.
We loved it, Frank. I mean, a lot of people in the comments are agreeing that this was probably the best live stream that Travis has ever done. I think a lot of that
better every week. How do we? What the heck, man?
How do we do it, man? Frank, I gotta ask Alex. I got one more thing.
Oh, geez, Eric, here we go again.
There is large flake on this June bug. Talk about large flake.
What?
I got it. I'm going to turn into a pumpkin, man. We can't give everything up in one episode, guys.
That's true. We'll save it for later.
I like it.
Large flake.
But there is a thing about large flake.
I agree.
Ooh,
and we're going to save that. We're going to save that for
teaser.
the next time you come on. Yes. I like that plan. Awesome. All right, Frank, we're going to let you go.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Frank. Thank you.
Man. Thank you. Big hand for Frank, everybody, man.
Right. I'm going to give myself a hand.
My paisan. Thanks for staying up late.
I appreciate it. Oh, that's okay. Now I'm going to hit a movie and hammer down some beers.
That's what I'm talking about. You deserve it. That's awesome.
I appreciate it, man. A lot of fun. There's a lot of fun, you guys.
Love it, man. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll see you, Frank.
Man. Thanks, Frank.
All right. Adios, guys.
Have a good one. Okay.
Wow.
Woo! That was strong.
Dude.
Man.
What just happened?
I don't know. People are saying I'm drunk. I'm not drunk. I was fascinated by the conversation and just kind of like.
I didn't want to do anything else. I didn't even want to type in the comments.
But no, honestly, I bought a bunch of those damn spine. Like I spent a shit ton of money after having a conversation with him on the podcast, and now, like it's nonstop, dude. But I love it. It's so, what I love about this show is we get so many different guests, so many different opinions, advice. He's been doing it all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just incredible. Like, I mean, what did we pick up tonight? I know I need to get a more serious about a finesse Carolina rig rod. I need to up my braid on my Carolina rig rod. I need to get some of those Normans. I need to get those colors. What the heck else we got? A weightless lizard? Are you guys serious? Come on. I mean, that's stuff we should know, but you just don't. You might have read about it or heard about it here and there, and you just you blow it off. But when a guy like Frank, who's in the industry, who's got credibility, says you better be throwing a weightless freaking lizard, you better take note. And if I catch you guys on the flats this spring throwing a freaking weightless lizard around me, I'm gonna be pissed.
You're gonna be rotating in between the bellows gill and the lizard.
There won't be many people throwing it. I can promise you that, man. It's an old school. That's why I wanted to ask the old school forgotten technique, finding fish, and just get them in that zone. And
dude, that was awesome. Can you? So Carolina Reagan's his deal. I wanted to ask him, and Alex asked me in the private comments to ask, and I forgot. But how he fights and manages a smallmouth on the crank and stick. Is it's different than largemouth? What's your setup? Because he says he's throwing DD22s quite a bit, which I love. I mean, I've experienced it on St. Clair and Lake Erie.
Following up with the deep little end after you pull the school off the spot. What?
Yes.
And moving that thing through the school that just popped up off the bottom, following the smallmouth. That 5-pounder that went in your well. There's 3 more hanging out. Where does Buddy go? And then
I got a little secret here.
Cherry vodka.
Well, I'm going to. I got that truck accessories company not too far from my house that also used to be a bait store. Remember me telling you that story?
Yeah. And don't.
You know what's there and what's left.
You're getting all of it. I have some in the garage because I'm throwing them in Florida for big Florida trophy bass. I got a lot of Zoom, but I want to explore that one. So before people listening, go get the deal and save us ducats. We're speaking in code. But if you come to the Patreon stream, we will reveal the secret code.
Yes. No, listen, this, I don't even know
what to say, dude. That was just, he's a stud.
It was awesome.
I had a zillion questions. I got a zillion more questions. I wrote down show notes.
I know.
I studied. I was ready for tonight.
Well, the whole show, I mean, how about Aaron in the beginning, man? That dude surprised the heck out of me, dude. And a lot of people in the comments were like, wow, yeah, this guy, yes, he's marketing baits, but you know how some people are good at marketing and not fishing or concepts?
Yeah.
He got everything, dude.
Very much so.
It was awesome.
Very much so.
Yeah. How's it get better? I don't know, but definitely want to tune in this Saturday from 1 to 5 Eastern. I'll be doing a live show, 4-hour special live. It's free. You ain't got to be a Patreon. Just come on in, say hi on the live stream, as well as come on down to the tackle store if you're local and say hi. We'll be there. I'm trying to see if I can get Dirty Steve to come in on Saturday.
That would be hysterical, actually.
I don't know. Actually, he hasn't called. He hasn't answered my calls driving to Wisconsin, and early this morning on my way to Fleet Farm, he didn't take my call. So I don't know.
Man, I've been trying my buddy Alan that makes my my original OG bass fishing partner, and I haven't heard back from him in a couple of days. I'm really worried about him, man. He moved down to Myrtle Beach, man. I hope he's okay. I called him and texted him yesterday. I called him and texted him before the show, and he hasn't responded yet. I'm flipping out a little bit.
Huh.
Because it's just him down there. He's got no family left except for a brother in Baltimore. Yeah. Anyway.
Waves Current and Ice wants to know. So I guess there's no secret anymore. I did decide to go with St. Croix rods for the future. We're not allowed to talk about their new rod lineup at all. Okay. I have one. And
do you like it more than the Legend Extreme? It's the only question to ask.
Hold on. It's priced a lot less expensive. It's in that 160 to 180 range.
Okay.
And for those rods, yes, blew me away. I'm excited. I'm excited to they're going to be, I think they'll be available to purchase in March. But a really well-made right there in Park Falls, Wisconsin rod. I don't even think I can say the series or what it's called, but I think you guys, St. Croix fans or any fan that's looking at a great quality built rod here in the U.S., backed by a company that's been around forever and knows how to build a rod correctly, you're going to want to check these out and really take note when they come out. There's a lot of different styles as far as baitcaster spinning, a good lineup so far. So,
damn, I forgot to show Frank my chatter leech, dude.
Well, shit, dude.
And my fucking, I said the F word for the first time tonight. And my Clearwater shad with the articulating back hook trailer.
Yes.
Dude,
I think Frank might be making a couple more appearances after that.
I sure hope so, man.
Yeah.
We'll have to get him back. Guys, just flood his social media.
Yes.
I think it's Scalish_fishing.
Yep.
Can you put that up there, Alex?
Yeah, sure thing.
He crushed it.
Yeah, just send him a message to thank him too, because that was pretty cool.
Wow. Whew. Wow. Wow. I'm still buzzing from that one. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I better go give Frank a follow. Oh, we added a jumbo sticker pack to the Bass Lab stickers. Two large stickers, and then 3 small stickers for 14 plus shipping.
Oh, but
good value.
That is a good value. Get on it. basslab.bigcartel.com. You know what? My buddy Brody was actually in the chat rooms while Frank was on.
Brody of the Lake?
Brody of the Lake chimed in.
What did he say?
He was just talking, just commenting here and there. I don't know if he's still on, but he was.
Is he still doing what he does for,
eBay, big eBay store? We should get Brody on at some point.
That would be kind of wild, actually, because
we actually have. I mean, honestly,
tell him what they do. Tell him what Brody does. Tell him what Brody does.
Brody has the largest online fishing store on eBay.
Look at that.
50 years since eBay was invented.
And Travis, doesn't he buy the old?
Yeah, he buys all the stuff. He takes all the stuff from my from like Bass Pros that have extra stuff. I'll just read in the comments. Somebody were bitching at me because they didn't get my auction shipment. Private message you, Dustin. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, Justin, I just got mine today, so I mean it might take.
It's late. It's late. Oh, you won an auction?
Sure did, and I even got a couple of these in the mail.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
No,
I didn't even have to steal it or anything.
You got them before I did, man.
But I mean,
guys are asking when the shaky jig worms are going to be back in stock. I'm literally out of jig heads, and I think they're sold out of everywhere.
Yeah,
the ones I use. So I got to figure out something.
We're working on a plan, guys, for that. I promise you that. Anyways, eBay store, Brody of the Lake has all kinds of tackle. He gets it from all the different anglers, literally truckloads, of baits come into his warehouse there, and he just sorts through them and puts them up online, and a lot of unique and rare things.
What's the name of that store, Travis?
Brody of the Lake. Brody, okay. Brody of the Lake. Yeah, we'll get him on for sure. Definitely. As far as future, let's talk real quick here. Of course, next week's live, besides our bonus Saturday, we'll be back here Thursday. Hopefully not from this basement. I might go to my buddy's house. That's got a little bit better internet. But we're going to do the TK an Epic Eric big announcement, and just hang out with TK and kind of figure out what's going on, catch up. It's been a while since he's been on the show.
Yeah, Craft Print, man. That's TK's wife. They showed me a little something tonight, man. Something's coming off the presses.
Nice.
Fast Lab swag. Dude, I got another sticker going, and then the one behind the sticker that I just got, I'm going to Ray for a sticker print. The new one, Travis and I might have a giant announcement in 2022, but we'll tease it in 2021. If he makes the elites, then the dream's crushed, and I'll have to go find somebody else to do it because I can't wait.
I doubt I'll make the elites, so we'll probably be doing it, bro.
If you make the elites, man, God, I'm happy for you, man. Go fish your dream, do your thing, man. So
don't call it a dream, bro.
Well, all right, maybe we could fit something in 21, and we could tease it a little bit on the show. But I think what's cool about this, it's going to be, there's a sense of adventure about it. There's a sense of there's stories to be made, and there are fans to be interacted with live out in the field. And we're going to weave it in and around some very cool fishing opportunities. And Travis,
we're getting this shit done because I'm sick of being stuck at 29,000 subscribers. Let's do this.
We're going to blow it up, man.
We got it.
Yeah, man. It's going to be
and then, of course, the 18th is a Patreon. Then we have the boys from Power Pole, and Nico Bates will be joining us around the 1st of March. It's going fast, guys. I'm going to be in Wisconsin for a couple weeks. By the time I get back home, my boat should be here. Boat prep. Head down to Chickamauga, and it's just going to be a very, very busy summer. Of course, the Opens, bunch of tournaments, team tournaments, the Wisco, a tournament back in Wisconsin I'll be fishing. So, and of course, guiding. If anyone's interested in booking a trip with me, Lake Ontario trips are pretty much fully booked for this year. And only booking right now Chesapeake Bay. So Chesapeake Bay, March, April, May, and June. I still have dates. No weekends, no Fridays probably. But there's a handful here and there if you guys are interested in booking a date. TravisManson.com is the website. And you can send me an email and just let me know what date you're looking for. And if I got it, I'll put you in. If not, I'll give you some alternative dates. But I work pretty hard for you guys. I'll do my best based on the conditions that we face for the day to get some fish in the boat for us.
Hey, I'll give Travis a little plug on the guiding, man. I talked to Ray Stickle today. He's the print shop doing the stickers. And he was like, he took his wife fishing with Travis, and they did a guided trip together. And his wife didn't know what to expect. She was a little nervous about being on a boat. And man, they said you were fantastic. You took it
was a fun day, dude.
Yeah, there were storms. Yeah, I mean, they caught fish. They just loved it, man. So hats off to you for having a husband and wife. It was her first time being on the big water, and you just nailed it for him, man. So bravo to Travis, man. He does a good job guiding. I mean, he's guided me out there on the water, man. He puts me on the fish every time. Thank you.
Absolutely. So Travis, I want to go back just a little bit. So I'll be realistic and be honest.
Okay.
On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being yes, 100% I'm going to make it, 1 being hell no, I don't have a chance. How do you rate your probability of making the elites this year?
Oh man. So there's so many variables that go into it. Do I have the 10 for the skill level, but things got to go right. And it's 200 guys and only one person, or 4 people. I mean, honestly, I can tell you how it could go down. I could go fish my home body of water. I'll call Lake Ontario. And I could fish outside the money, dude, because of the day. I might know where all the fish live or what to do, but I might make a decision where I think they're going to be on this rock hump, and it's 18, 25, it's just blowing, and I can't move around the lake as well as I'd like. Or I get on some fish 40 miles down the river, and I go there and they're gone. And now I want to go back on the lake, and time's running out. You know, I've been fortunate to cash checks in most events there. Looking back on Ontario, I guess I do have a good track. I've had a bunch of wins, almost, you know, some seconds in big tournaments. But the Opens have always eluded me out there. You know, all the FLWs, I've always brought in a 20th place finish. You know what I mean? 18th, 30th. I've always got my money back, but I've never been in contention in a big event on Ontario because there's so many variables that happen. You know, 3 out of the events was mechanical issues with trolling motors coming off the boat, things like that. So, I mean, I cashed a check with a trolling motor that was hanging like this, looked like a broken arm, dude. You know what I mean? So I hated it, dude. It was the worst. So here's the story.
I'm sorry, man.
I won a tournament. I won a tournament 3 weeks prior out there. I fished. I don't spend a lot of time in areas I'm going to be fishing in tournaments, but I knew where I wanted to go. I had my game plan. It blew like crazy that first morning. I went to the spot, and the fish just were not there. You know, I was there for 15 minutes. A hell of a run, dude. An hour run, and the fish were not there. 15 minutes, I'm not going to stay. You know what I mean? So now I got to make a 30-mile run a different direction. And major big waves. And 15 miles into it, that's when I came off of a pretty heavy wave and noticed that the trolling motor basically just flew off the boat and into the water. So I used my ropes and stuff that I have in the boat to strap it down the best I could. And got to my spot, realized that the wind was causing the algae to stir up, which I should have known. I'm an idiot. You can't fish that spot in big waves because the algae on the bottom stirs up, and either those fish leave or it's too hard to manage your bait. It was just a dumb move. Yeah. So now I got 3 hours left in a major tournament where I'm doing well in Angler of the Year points and all that stuff. And I'm like, all right. I made an adjustment, managed with the trolling motor somehow, drifting, dropping on them, 2D sonar still. This is 3 years ago. And I was able to get a good bag. And then day 2, so going back, so we were in the parking lot. I had to get to the repair shop, right, the boat yard, and get my trolling motor fixed. I mean, that took till, it was late, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. The next morning, I start running out to where I wanted to go again. And I turned around about 8 miles into the run. I turned around because I was scared because I didn't want my trolling motor to fall off again. And I thought, you know what? I got areas I can maybe catch them. I'm going to turn around. I went back in the river. At 10 o'clock, I had, 11, 12 pounds, 5 little 14-inch smallmouth probably.
Oh, God.
I had to be in at 3. The wind's calmed down, starting to calm down. I told my co-angler, I go, we're going. So literally left. I knew I was going to have about 45 minutes of fishing, and I got out there and caught my weight, and I was able to get back. So, stories like this, why I'm sharing this stories, I mean, shit like that happens constantly. It could happen on the James River. I mean, yeah. I might think I'm not going to be able to stick too many fish in. I don't know shit about the James. I'm not going to be able to stick fish. I'm not going to be able to, it's not going to set up for what I like to do. Because I don't know it. I don't know if I can sit in an area and milk it. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure how it's going to work just yet. But I'll tell you what, you make one big bad decision, you're done. You could still be a good angler and take 95th place once in a while. You do that every tournament. It might not be the thing for you. But I'm saying is there's no guarantees at all, dude. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fish hard. I'm going to work hard. And I'm going to put myself in what I think in my head is the best position.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's all you can do. You just got to set yourself up as best you can and control what you can control. And, if your trolling motor flies off when you're running down the lake, that's just an uncontrollable variable that really kind of sucks. But I mean, I was thinking about this, kind of going back to the game plans. When you're thinking of like a big water tournament, do you say like, okay, if it doesn't blow, I'm going to go to spot A and B, but if it does blow, I'm going to C, D, and E. That way, I know I at least have a shot to get myself in the check line or something like that.
Well, I think I learned that I'll go and fish. I'll get there in my boat regardless.
Okay.
But will the fish be there? So now I understand how wind affects the fish in areas that I'm fishing. So if I have a big bag of fish and I know they're gonna be there, I don't care if I have to go 10 miles an hour to get to them. I'll get to them eventually. But I do take in consideration now wind direction, how heavy of wind it is. Are those fish going to be messing around on that spot when I do finally get there 2 hours later? That's what you have to learn. It's not
okay.
Yeah, I don't let the weather determine whether I go somewhere.
Okay.
It's if those fish are still going to be there because of the weather.
So do you mind sharing with us how that weather affects the fish, or is that more of a Patreon topic?
So, well, okay. So let's say you're fishing a bluff wall, and bluff walls typically have a steep break, obviously. So you're not going to be 100 yards or 200 yards off of a bluff wall because you're going to be in 200 feet of water, right?
Holy shit.
You're going to be uptight. And so if you have fish on that bluff wall, but you have a strong wind that's going 6 to 8 footers onto that wall, you have a washing machine and you're not even be able to stand up on your boat to fish. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe those fish will still be there, but I won't be able to fish that spot.
Yeah.
Other areas, like I said, with that algae and stirrup of the water because of the waves, like I said, it's bad sometimes. You can't even drop a bait without getting algae gooped up on your drop shot weight and hook because of the disturbance in the water. So I know I can't even go to those areas during those conditions.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know if I didn't listen to this podcast yet, but I know Brendan Polnick talked about that on the St. Lawrence River this year. He said he just saw 5-pounders and 6-pounders swimming around like nobody's business, and he couldn't get his bait into them because that moss and algae was just floating around, and he knew they would bite. He just physically could not get his bait in there without it getting covered up by all the algae. So, do you have a technique to get around that, or something that works well through that algae?
I tried so many things. I tried what we call here in Wisconsin a Wolf River rig, a three-way swivel, with
Did
a
you
weight.
say woof or wolf?
I call Wolf. So yeah, Wolf River rig.
Nice.
The L is silent. If you're from Winnie County and you're just Travis. And so I tie a three-way. I've tried a lot. It's almost impossible.
Okay.
You can get away sometimes with a drop shot and have it's too hard. It really is. I wouldn't even, if somebody knows the answer to that, let me know. But and there's other things too, current and stuff like that, but that's what I'm learning.
Yeah. So I like to ask you this every once in a while. So how's your Chickamauga prep going? Do you got some areas picked out? Because I mean, that's a big tournament. That's $100,000 to the winner. I mean, that sets you up pretty good. So how are you feeling for that?
I got the fishing hotspots map ordered. Okay. I'm a little behind all this pressure for making these live streams and podcasts and tackle prep. I'm literally working nonstop. I'm not sitting on the couch eating Cheetos. Okay.
Not rollerblading.
Not rollerblade. None of that. So I've done some map study, Google image, things like that so far. Have no idea. I know what I have the baits picked out, not organized, but definitely things going through my mind. Will I be tossing a weightless lizard now? Maybe. A Carolina rig. So I think I'm going to end up, I'm definitely going to end up in probably a spawn, maybe post spawn. It depends. I guess really February, this month will really determine how I approach my pre-practice in March, as well as the tournament in April, depending on how mild it is. So are we gonna have an early spawn or not? I would love a spawn event.
Okay.
I really would. I'm hoping for a spawn event. I'm hoping to find some clean water, some clear water. I think I excel at sight fishing, and I would like to be able to experience that. If it's in between, or obviously they'll all come up at the same time. But I do have a plan to cover a lot of water, and so things are coming in place. It's definitely my focus before the James River, which once the problem is, man, honestly, once I get back home, it's go time. It's boat prep. It's head down to Chickamauga, and then it's guiding every freaking day until I leave for the James. It's making these live streams and video. I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you, the James River is going to be the hardest for me to prep for, because of timing, because of trying to figure out time to do that. Prep isn't one night. It's not 2 hours of looking at posts about a fishing tournament. I mean, it's 40, 50, 60 hours of computer work before you even get to the lake. So it's a grind. I mean, fortunately, on the way here, I was able to listen to some live tournaments on Chickamauga around April. So I had a 14-hour drive to Wisconsin, and most of that was listening to watching those videos. So I got buzzwords. I see, I know the baits kind of. I don't know. You hear Marty Stone talk about, and from this bridge on up, there's this and that, and over here by the dam, I hear that stuff, but I don't know, dude. Like, I got some work to do.
Absolutely. So, real quick about Chickamauga, do you see any value in looking at a summertime tournament there and saying, okay, they're catching them offshore here. Maybe they came from, they spawned back in this pocket. Now they're all the way out the front of this point. Do you look at that and say, okay, if they're schooled up pretty good on that point, they got to have come from somewhere in that general area. Maybe they spawn back in this cove, and take a look at that, or is that not something you see any value in?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think I can find smallmouth a lot better in those situations than largemouth, because I just don't have the experience.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I'll try to take mental note of that stuff. I'm hoping I can just run the bank, or at least some offshore stuff. I mean, I'll know where all the secret little stuff is from my map study at certain water levels. Okay. Yeah. So I'll know what's off the bank, because they have low water right now. I'm sure they'll flood it up here in April. So it'll look totally different. But I hope to have a bunch of areas that I think will hold fish. And then when I get down there for official practice, I'll fish as hard as I can for those 4 days and hopefully come back with something.
Yeah. So are you still running the Humminbird and the Garmin at your console?
Yeah. So this year's boat's going to have two Garmins and a Humminbird at the bow. And a Garmin Humminbird at the console.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask. So do you get a Lake Master chip and a Navionics chip and compare the both of them? Put the Lake Master Humminbird, obviously, and then
sure, I'll have them both.
Man.
I'll have
Great
them both.
Question, Alex.
Yeah,
I'll have them both.
Have you ever used the Humminbird feature with the Auto Chart Live, where you can custom map out a place? Maybe it's something you've caught some good fish off of, and you want to see kind of exactly what's down there, and you auto chart it real quick. You ever do that?
Very cool.
Like the Auto Live.
Yeah, and we can drive over the place and it creates a little custom map for you.
I've never done it.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like you got a good game plan. Like you said earlier, you're putting all your work in, you and put the time in, and whatever happens. That's all you can do, and you just got to accept the outcome. So, of course, we're all wishing you the best. We'll put in the work, make sure we get these live shows up, get the podcasts up still. We'll make some things happen, and it should be a good year for everyone involved.
Yeah, I started doing videos with my teammates, for the opens. So that'll be fun. And we'll start launching those in the series. We made our first YouTube video introducing the team.
Yep.
We brought someone new onto the team as well. So now we have 4 people.
Can we announce who that is now? Yeah.
My buddy Gary Atkins, who's
oh yeah, you said that.
one of the better anglers here in Wisconsin, will be joining us
yeah.
only because he tried to enter the Centrals. They were full. He called me. He goes, "Hey, I think I'm fishing the Northerns. You want to travel together?" I go, "Well, I got 3 dudes with me already. Let's see if we can work it out." But
I believe Mr. Adkins joined you on the Smallmouth Crush podcast. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's got a real good. I don't even know what he talked about, dude. There's been so many. He talked about smallmouth on Lake Michigan.
Yeah,
I don't know. At this point, dude,
I mean, yeah, I'm sure. What have you done? About 35 or 40? That's 35 hours just of recording, and then mind that all the editing time and going back. And so, I mean, you probably got well over 100 hours into all those episodes.
We're getting close.
Yeah.
What are you doing down there, quiet, Eric?
No, I'm just listening. I'm giving Alex, he's interviewing you. It's basically like the Smallmouth Crush Travis Manson podcast interview.
By the way, we had pretty good numbers tonight.
Yes.
So normally after you get the first guest off, they'll start to drop off a little bit, but they continually increased as Frank kept going and going, and even when he was on was when you saw the highest numbers of the night. So definitely I think this will probably end up being one of the better viewed shows that you have. Frank was just giving good stuff. Aaron was great too. I mean, man, everyone was on fire tonight. So great stuff all around.
Like, I don't even, these shows blend in. What did we even do last week? Do you remember?
Fat Cat.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And then next week
we're gonna right out of the gate, man.
Bro, you guys gotta know how.
Right after your last win, right after Brower. Yeah, he goes. Listen, yeah, I met Letterman in a bathhouse eating corn dogs, man.
I know that was funny. So this is how serious I took the live stream. I knew internet was questionable out here, but let me show you what I brought from home to make my studio here in my old bedroom. Okay, watch this stuff. Okay, so look I brought my 2 big screens, dude.
Yep.
Nice.
These are big Apple things, man. These aren't lightweight. I got the light, dude. I mean, I got the desk. I didn't bring the desk, but I got the mic here. Got the bed right there. I mean, this is crazy, dude.
Man. People are asking for a teaser of what we got up our sleeves for 2022, man.
Ooh.
And maybe a visit to one of those.
I'm not going to say anything right now.
Okay, we'll wait. It's coming. I'll wait till I have some stickers in house.
Oh man! So Eric, you'll get a kick out of this. So Travis and we did a test the other day just to make sure it was working. And he goes, "So I ran an internet test, and I'm getting a download of 4 Mbps. Is that slow?" I was like, "Oh, yes." So I've been thoroughly impressed with how clear and good his picture's been tonight. So
I know,
thank you to the Wi-Fi at the
upload was like 0.02. The upload was 0.02. He said on the test.
Yeah, it was bad.
Not too good.
Not good for uploading content.
But listen, guys, I really want to. Hopefully, a lot of you will be here Saturday for the live. It's not going to be structured. Maybe if I have some time tomorrow. So I'm going to really lean heavy on Eric to talk baits and stuff. The Real Shot's got a lot of JDM products and a couple sleepers that I want to bring up. I'll have some guests, but if you guys can help, Alex and Eric, of anyone you might think, maybe we could pop on for a little bit, because I'm going to need a break too, because I'm going to be talking. I'm sure there's going to be people in the store that want to have a conversation that are local.
Yeah.
And so I might have to step away from the live at times, but I'm actually looking forward to it. I don't know. It's fun when we got a nice audience, like we do here. People that watch the show, we'll keep it entertaining, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I wanted to be more serious tonight because, with tackle, and you guys know the new format of the show is really more serious stuff in the beginning, except when you have Fat Cat on right away.
Yeah.
But the first guest is kind of real, whether it be a featuring a bait, a product, or someone that's got some influence in the fishing industry. And then, of course, after hours, a lot of times we don't have a second guest. Tonight was a special thing. And so you're going to see different sides of this live moving forward too. Because like I said, sure. I was memorized, by what Frank was saying. I was just taking it all in as if I was a listener to this podcast and I wasn't hosting it. Does that make sense? I was lost in that.
Yeah, I get caught up in that too. You just sit there, start watching, like, oh shoot, I haven't wrote a comment in like 5 minutes. I gotta start getting back on. I mean, especially with Frank tonight, I was just sitting there like a deer in the headlights.
You just sit back and relax. I take care of everything, man. That's what the Godfather said, man. That's what Pacino said. I take care of everything. Finish all family business tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a Python, man. You got to eat. You got two Italians in a room, dude. It goes like that.
Hey, Brian B. I definitely need some help on the James. So if you're listening,
he's here.
Message me.
He's here.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
So Eric, we can go into this if you want to. If not, we can do it another show. So obviously, the big announcement came down Tuesday, Wednesday this week. They rolled out the format and everything for the Bass. Whatever they call it, the U.S. Open. If you have a Ranger, whatever,
they're gonna steal. Yeah. They're gonna steal the Lake
about that, but
the Lake Mead title.
Yeah. So, of course, when all that aside, Eric, what are your thoughts? To my recollection, Scooter runs a Triton. Is that something you guys are looking into?
Oh, 100%.
Hold up. Why would you say? Why would you just say freaking Eric? I have a Nitro. I can go fish that tournament as well in the Chesapeake. And if I can get in, Eric and I are going to be fishing it in June. You're Scooter and Eric.
Travis, unfortunately,
we don't know that yet.
I know, but I read through the requirements pretty good, and I don't think you're eligible, Travis, because
you've won 100
before. Yeah,
I think it's based. No, I think there's a website, and then there's the fine print, and that's what we're trying to get answers to, because. How can you say?
Did you call your dealer?
No. How can you say? Yeah, I called my dealer to try to get a logo for my freaking jersey that I got to make for these opens, and I can't even get a logo. So how's he going to know about the rules, Eric? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Doug from Bowers. You called me today. I'm at my parents' house. I don't get text messages or emails or phone calls here. I have to walk down the end of the driveway. To get my phone calls
in the snow.
Yeah.
Right next to the wolf.
I think because here's the weird part. They say you could not have fished the Elite Series or a big tour event.
Exactly what they said. If you've
for
ever
2 years
paid an entry fee over $2,500 ever, you're out.
Okay.
It sucks.
Travis, if you just put on like a little disguise, like a fake mustache, do you think they'll notice? Just slide in there under the radar, use somebody else's name or something, maybe.
Well, I have one rule that says if you fish the Elites 2 years or less.
Yep, there was that one, and then
but here's my point.
Yeah.
So in the fine print for rule number 2 is you can't make an entry pay over $2,500. Well, why have rule number 1? Because all Elites have already paid $5,000. So why put that rule up there?
So
that doesn't make sense.
If you've ever fished a Costa, what was the entry fee?
They're like 1,500,
2,000, less than 25.
Oh, I thought it was more. Okay, fair enough.
So I mean that's what they're trying to do. But like Travis is saying, I heard on another podcast, maybe it was BTL, that he brought that up, where those two rules really contradict each other, and that's something they have to clear up, because there's guys like Travis and former Elite Series pros, Byron Velvick, maybe, that would love to jump into that stuff, but I mean, obviously they're going to be ineligible if they can't. So, I mean, it'll be something they'll clarify, and we'll go from there. But I mean, for anyone else, if you got the boat, I mean, how can you not be jazzed for? I mean, the stuff they're rolling out, the prizes.
If it was if it was local, I'm not going to drive to, Texas to fish one of these tournaments. But since there's one on the Chesapeake, if I could, I would jump in. Obviously, we'd probably be able to qualify for the championship. What, they got 300-400 boats?
Yeah, it's a lot. Like,
okay, so you got 400 boats. So you have a 1 in 4. You have 1 in 350 chance of $1 million payout. So yeah, do you do it? Yes, but what's 15th place going to be in that event?
Probably
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good.
There's a lot of expenses to go try to get your $1 million.
No, there's no entry fee, first of all.
Yeah.
For the championship.
And I'm sure
they take the 40 top teams from each of the 8 qualifiers. You can only fish 1 qualifier, and then they have a last chance tournament in November on Bull Shoals. So yeah, that would be expensive to go to. It's a beast of a lake. So, and then you can also qualify through a team trail, and there are team trails listed on the website. You have to win, I think, either the Anglers of the Year title or the points or the championship in that team trail, which is hard to do, So top 40 teams from the 8 regional qualifiers, last chance. That's another way to qualify, or again through your team trail. Yep.
I mean, yeah, and I have a feeling
it's not bad. You're going to make $350 after taxes, and you'll get a boat because the truck will be used for taxes on those 2 items.
Well, on 700,000, I mean, on $1 million, you'd be in a top.
I say 300,000.
You make 375, but each angler gets a boat and a truck.
Yep.
Right, and my point is, there's when I won on The Price is Right, I lost so much money trying on taxes for all this bullshit.
What did you win on The Price is Right?
Roll that back.
Gas grill, electric guitars, dining room table.
You were actually on The Price is Right?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. So you're sitting here questioning
I'm just saying, maybe this is
different for $1 million, but you went out to Los Angeles for the chance at a gas
grill.
I
didn't go out to meet Bob Barker and go on The Price is Right. I was out there.
What made you want to go on The Price is Right?
I was there for a school function, and we decided to go to The Price is Right one day.
That's so crazy. College or high school?
College.
Okay, gotcha. Where'd you go to college?
Oshkosh.
Oshkosh. Don't they make good little kids clothes? Oshkosh, Bigosh. I think they did.
Everyone says that. I don't know. It's like going to I don't know.
What did you study in school?
Marketing.
Gotcha. Well, and here you are in marketing in the fishing industry.
Yes.
So Travis, one big question that I've had on my mind all night is: so you're staying in Wisconsin for another 3 weeks. Are you gonna run out of room in your truck from all the stuff that you buy at Farm and Fleet? Are you gonna need an extra trailer, a U-Haul or something on your way home?
Maybe he could always ship it.
Yeah.
Here's one receipt from this morning.
That's awesome. Look at that. And I was live. I was live on FaceTime with Travis during that.
Here's another one from last night.
Power Bait and Wine.
Shit.
But
you weren't supposed to say that yet.
No. Yeah.
Never mind. I have a few more Fleet Farms to hit up here in Wisconsin. So if any Wisconsinites even think about going to the ones I haven't been to yet,
don't do it.
That's all right. I don't mind. I got 2 more Fleet Farms to hit up.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Cool store. Well, heck of a stream. That was unreal, dude. I was just like devouring that conversation. I mean, I just loved every second of it, man. I could have kept going.
The whole thing.
Oh, just Frank, and Frank especially, because I'm a bait hound, so he was in my brain, man.
I bet he'll be back.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Unbelievable, man.
All right, big day tomorrow. I'm talking to
let me just show everybody that wall of DD22s and deep little ends. Can you see that?
Baby.
Mm-hmm. Right there. They're ready to go. All OGs, man. The good stuff.
I'm scheduled to talk to some high schoolers tomorrow.
That's fun.
You gonna tell them about the Mothman and all your conspiracy theories? Or you gonna... I mean, I think that's awesome. I never had an opportunity like that or anything in high school. I wasn't in the sport then, so I mean, that's really cool that you go do that and educate those kids pretty good. I mean,
It'll be fun. I have no idea. It's over the internet, so I'll have to
okay.
call me and just ask me a bunch of questions, I think. So
very fun, Travis.
I got that going on, and then we gotta get, I'm really focused on Saturday. I want to make a big deal there. I really want to talk baits with you guys. Share with you some of the stuff that the Real Shot has going on. And why it's important to support a smaller tackle store that's trying to, he's a small tackle store with big dreams that's has the ability to make those dreams come true. They partnered with this National Fishing League to do all of their media coverage. So all the live that you see would be like what JM Productions is to Bass. This is what the Real Shot is to this new circuit.
Okay.
Of course, they have a lot of other head-to-head fishing things going on. Like they got so much stuff going on there, it's crazy. And so I'm just want to go there, show my support, and get you guys thinking. If you want to make a tackle purchase, if you're going to purchase anywhere, if you could, just please, if you're a fan of the show, to make your purchase from the Real Shot first before you go to some alternative places. Because listen, I know Tackle Warehouse got everything you need, and it's easy to shop, and it's simple. But they're just a big conglomerate from China. You're just supporting China when you shop Tackle Warehouse. So I'm just kidding. I just threw that in there to try to get a rise from Eric, but
I heard it. I'm like, oh, shots fired, man.
They might be American owned. I don't know, dude. I'm just saying. Help out the little guys. So
no, I think more appropriately it would be this is a smaller local shop versus the big conglomerate. It's David and Goliath. So do you want to go to the big box store or do you want to support Main Street? Travis is saying support Main Street.
That's right.
Plus David gets you 15% off too. So
and you're helping Travis.
Yes. What else was I going to ask?
And maybe Alex, if things go really well for Travis.
Maybe.
When Travis wins the lottery, we're all going to win big, Eric. That's what he said. I remember that.
And me, because Travis is a happier man when he's doing well.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Okay. All right. Let's sign off. I don't have my thing. Neither does Alex.
Oh, no. I have that one. We'll see if I can pull it up real quick.
Well, thanks, guys, for hanging out with us.
Don't miss next week's show is all I can tell you, man.
And don't miss Saturday's show.
Oh, yeah, Saturday's show.
Maybe you should bring TK. No, don't bring TK on tomorrow. We'll wait for Thursday.
Yeah. What's tomorrow?
All right. I don't know. Friday. See ya.
All right. See ya.
You know how to press that button, Alex?
I didn't hit the button. Nope. There you go.
You're done.
Man.
He's done. He's done. We're out. Alex won't be joining us anymore.
Nope.
Say goodbye.
Quit.